But how long has your cousin been out there with doing the deer process?
Shoot, as long as I can remember.
I feel like I never hear about it. I've seen the sign.
Remember. It's Thompson's deer processing is where it's always been.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember.
What's their best sausage out there?
I like their smoked sausage myself.
Yeah.
But he's doing some more, different kinds now, like jalapeno cheese and all that. That's all pretty good.
Does he do fresh link too, or just okay?
Yeah, he does fresh link. Yeah.
I like the fresh link better. Like when I've been going to countries down there, their fresh link is kind of like my general purpose sausage. I can cook it for breakfast or put it in anything. I like the fresh link a lot. But I think it's like a texture thing too.
Right.
I think I like the fresh link texture more than smoked. Which they do some pretty good stuff down there. I had some of their deer bacon. I still got to admit it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of like bacon. I got some out there. You want some? It's kind of like textured like Spam. But it's not. I mean, it's not a potted meat.
Right.
But they slice it in packs. But that would be the closest thing I can take it to. It's like a processed meat. It's not like true bacon, like because bacon's a lot of fat. Deer don't have fat.
Right.
But it ain't bad. I found the best way I like it, which I think it's fully cooked. It's frozen, but I think you could just thaw it and eat it. It's probably closer to like souse meat or something.
Right.
But it's not gelatin. Like, because I'll take it in the slices and I'll throw it in a hot pan and I'll crisp it a little bit and throw it on 2 pieces of bread, kind of like a bacon sandwich. And it's pretty good. But, you try to do that souse meat and it's going to dissolve. I learned that the hard way one time. I was like, oh, it's just the gelatin. No, it's just a soup of meat gravy.
Yeah. Dang.
But yeah, I like the fresh link. They had some other stuff. The jalapeno cheese is high. I think it's just me. I don't like a lot of cheese in the sausage, but I think it's something about the cold cheese.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I think it's just me. I'm
the same way. Like if it's jalapeno cheese, I prefer more jalapeno.
Yeah.
Than the cheese.
I don't want no big chunks of cheese.
Sense. Yeah, I don't like big chunks either.
Yeah. It's good if you grill it and you get it hot enough, but I don't know. It's something about it. I'm not that big on it. They do.
He does real good. Fresh link, and he does those small breakfast link sausages.
Yeah.
The real skinny ones. Those are really good.
I got some of those for the first time from countries this year. They're all right. They're not stupendous. I mean, I might, if I got some more from them, I might get some, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That I was expecting more. Because I never had deer breakfast sausage, venison like breakfast sausage. I was thinking more of like pork link breakfast sausage, and it ain't bad. It's just different. You got to eat it fresh. You let stuff dry a little bit, like cooking it, sit on the counter. Good. It gets dried out bad, but yeah, if you want some of that deer bacon, I think I got 7-8 packs out there.
Yeah, wouldn't mind trying some of it.
Yeah, couldn't talk my kids into eating it. The daughters didn't like it. Nuh-uh. Which I got. I don't know how much I got left. A lot of my deer sausage we got ate up. We did a big family cookout and I cooked a bunch of it.
Yeah.
I might cook some more at Easter. But
our deer sausage never lasts very long.
Nor does my backstrap and tenderloin.
I take it to the fire station and cook it, and then every time we grill something, I cook a pack or so. So it goes quick.
Yeah, Christmas time we'll do like family get-togethers, like Chinese Christmas and stuff. And we'll do something like, man, I cook 4 packs of sausage for everybody. I cook a couple. I got all this sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Come this time of year, I'm like, man, I
ain't got nothing.
Sausage left. But time when I get it, it's like I got a lot of sausage and it costs a lot of money. But man, it does go fast.
It does go fast.
I wish I.
That's why you got it, though, right? So
yeah. You
don't want to just sit in the freezer and go bad.
Usually I'll shoot like one deer, especially with like a big buck, like a large buck, body-wise with the meat, because I get a lot of sausage and I'll get backstraps, tenderloins. I might get some steaks, some Cuban grind, but we don't do a lot with that. I'll get more out of sausage, but this year I shot 2. I think I gave away half of the doe I shot. Oh, no, I gave the whole. Yeah. Never mind, I shot a little buck. I gave it to somebody else who wanted a deer, but next year I might try early season, just shoot me a doe.
Yeah.
And maybe get some whole cuts out of it, a little bit of sausage, so it'll last longer. I mean, you get 30, 40 pounds of sausage, you're like, you spend a bunch of money, and you're like, it's going to last a while.
No.
Especially, like I said, Firehouse, cook 3 or 4 packs at a time.
That's right. Then it gets wiped out.
And I'll be giving some to family and whoever, because it's good. They made a zesty this year, too. I found it in there. It's like an Italian kind of thing. It's pretty good. I put it in some spaghetti I made, cooked it, sliced it thin, threw it in with the ground beef meat sauce. It's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll try that.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to hit your cousin up. I might take him.
He does pretty good.
Yeah, I'll try him out.
I don't think you'd be disappointed. I'd say it'd be somebody you'd go to all the time, maybe, but it's not. It's never been bad. I've never had any bad stuff from them.
I'll try them out. They're definitely closer. Not that country down there is that far away, but they're definitely. I mean, that's like that's like 3 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could near about take my golf cart up there just
that's
about.
Right.
Well, thinking about it, I probably could if I'd take a while on the golf cart, but legitimately, I think it was only like 2 miles away. I said 2 or 3.
It probably ain't very far at all.
That's probably the closest one to me. Mm-hmm. Which there's a lot of processors around here. I don't know. Like there's a couple. I think one in Poland, like all these little towns.
Yeah,
got multiple. I guess they don't advertise much.
There's another one out there somewhere off of Poland Shingler Road too. I forgot the name of that place.
I bet
he's been there for a pretty good while too.
I bet there's probably some more in the south worth that. I don't ever go that way. I'm sure there's some down going towards Moultrie or something.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. Well, I got Mr. Ricky Thompson in here again. I had Ricky in here once before.
Take 2.
Yeah, take 2. I had him in here once before, and I had Steve coming in here like 2 days after you, and I was rushing around trying to get ready for Steve, and I deleted Ricky's video file. I was trying to format the cards. As soon as I hit format, I said, no. And you can't get it back.
No.
And I told Ricky, I said, I can just release your audio, or you come in again. And so, but I felt it was only best to have you come in on video. I don't think it was right. Which I do have your other audio.
Yeah.
So,
in case I bomb this one.
Nah. I didn't want to delete it. I said, I'll save it. Maybe sometime might do Ricky part 2, but really 1.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 or 0.5.
0.5
maybe.
Yeah, 0.5.
But it's Ricky Thompson. For those that don't know, Ricky is a person I respect greatly. The best way I can describe Ricky, and I said this in the first podcast, was Ricky is pretty much definition of quiet professional. He's always somebody respected. You might see somebody who's, super calm, but Ricky's always a person. His feet might be paddling under the water like a duck, but he's calm on the surface. And he's probably the coolest. I can't think of anybody that was a cooler cucumber than you. Just generally about everything than you. You're very laissez-faire, not in a bad way, but like, all right, that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
All right, that's a new thing. You were very much at keeping a station on an even keel, not letting people get wound up about BS or feeding into it. Mm-hmm. And you always were a calm in a storm, I felt like. You were a good point of reference, I think, everybody that was good at a station. Like, you were good.
Well, good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You were like a good, I don't want to say a role model, just a good, I guess better would put it as point of reference for everybody to feed off of, mm-hmm. which, you're a captain in Lee County when I was there. And
mm-hmm.
You're captain in Albany, too, right?
A battalion chief.
That's right, battalion chief in Albany. So
it's basically the same job, dude. They just
okay. Yeah.
Lee County don't call them battalion chiefs.
Yeah,
they call them captains. So.
Yeah, they should. Now you think about that.
They tried it one time before.
Oh, they did.
It didn't work out too good.
Oh no, why not?
I don't know. They tried it whenever we had a couple others.
Because you think they do the station captains, which would make sense,
right? And
then battalion chiefs. Mm-hmm. I never really thought about that till now.
Yeah.
What, did people rebel against it, or like?
No, it wasn't that. It just didn't work out too good.
Huh. I'm more curious about that. Was it? Let me move your phone away. I think it's causing a static. Your phone scooted.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. I've determined that after a few of these now. I think Brian had his phone in here. I was like, what is that? But which I don't know if it saves it. I don't know if you can hear it on the recording.
Right.
But why? Can you tell me, or are you just like you don't really know?
I'll tell you off the record.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. One of them things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I thought you might be getting at.
Yeah.
But because on the surface here, it doesn't make sense why you couldn't be a chief. Sound like somebody didn't like somebody else being chiefs.
No, it wasn't that at all.
Yeah.
It was. Some people when they get a certain title, it kind of.
Oh, they thought they had more power.
Yeah.
Nah, that's terrible.
More of that, I would say that was the common what everybody was thinking anyway.
Yeah. Nah. So, no, that's disappointing.
It just didn't work out as good.
I mean, it's just a title. They still have the same role.
It is the same role. It's the same job. I don't know why that was an issue, but it just seemed to be.
Yeah, I guess because it wasn't started like that. Because I mean, I got to think. every fire department pretty much is set up that way, or at least if, at least around here, I don't know about anywhere else, but you hear battalion chief, you're like, okay, that's the person over the shift that's over all the stations. That's the ultimate person in charge for that day, at least in my mind.
That's right.
So
that's exactly right.
Well, Ricky, he's been a long-time public safety person. You're what, 20 plus years in Albany?
I'll complete 25 in May.
25. Yep.
And I've been with Lee County since 03.
Yeah.
So 23 years in April, I believe, end of April.
Mm-hmm. Long time.
Long time. Yep.
I called, I don't want to spoil it because in case he doesn't come on, but I called the person you told me to talk to the first time we talked to. You said that I said I didn't think about from your department. And he was at John Thompson's retirement. When I called him. Were you there?
No, I didn't. I was at work.
Oh, yeah, of course you were.
I was going to try to ride over there
in
F4, but we got busy and I never was able to make it over there.
But he said he would love to come on.
Awesome.
He said he ain't doing nothing these days.
Awesome.
He's being house husband.
Good deal.
I said, well, come on. I said, I asked Ricky, I said, if you're just tending to the ducks on your farm. He said, yep, that's all I'm doing.
But he would definitely be a good interview.
Yeah. I got to think him with all the spare time. I bet his farm has all kind of stuff on it. He's just keeping busy with it. Oh, yeah. I could only imagine. Everything's in order.
You know it is.
Yeah.
You know it is.
Perfect. I remember him painting the parking lot stripes at Station 3. Like the dedication and level, I guess you'd say, of perfection he has to any job.
I promise they wasn't an eighth of an inch from one end to the other difference.
Nope. He probably had them chalked off. Okay.
Square.
It's, I don't know how wide a parking space is, but let's say it's 10 foot. Okay, it's 10 foot here. 10 foot and 8, 10 foot and 8. You got to bring that in.
You got to bring that in. A little bit.
They got to be. Probably had a.
He had a laser thing out
there. Yeah, probably had a square out there, making sure they're at perfect 90 degrees to the curb.
Yes, sir.
But that's a good thing about him.
Oh yeah,
in not a bad way.
Nope.
But he's gonna hopefully come on after Easter here.
Good deal.
We're recording this right for week before. Well, a few days. 6 days before Easter, so everybody's busy. I know I'm trying to clean up my boathouse up there, and holidays.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. Man, I'll have to cut that name out.
We're actually going down to Jacksonville for Easter this year. My daughter that lives down there found out she's having another baby, and we're going to be doing the gender reveal that weekend. So we're going to be finding out what our new grandbaby's going to be.
That'd be fun, exciting.
Yeah.
What grandbaby number is this?
Well, for me, it's, let's see, I got to count them. I think it's 9.
Dang.
Yeah.
You got a lot of Christmas presents you got to get.
Yes.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah. And I remember the first time we talked, your oldest that you had from a previous relationship, you didn't find out. You said you didn't find out until he was, in his 30s?
33.
Dang.
Yep.
And he had already had kids of his own,
He's got
right?
3, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got 3.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
They're a long way off there. They're in Idaho.
Yeah. I remember talking about last time.
They're not very far at all from Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour drive to Yellowstone Park.
Man, I want to. Me and the wife have talked about going there because I've never been to Yellowstone.
Oh, it's awesome.
I want to go see it, but I see all the tourist videos, and I want to find out when's the
It's
least.
crazy because you can go there at certain times of the year.
Yeah.
And then if you ride through the park in your car, and you go pretty much, I'm going to say all over, but most of the park.
Yeah.
Like when we went, we experienced basically all 4 seasons in that one day.
Huh.
On different parts of the park.
Huh.
It was crazy. Like parts of it was frozen over.
Yeah.
And then some parts looked just like it does outside today. Wildflowers growing in the fields and things like that. And then it would be raining in one spot.
Man, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, don't they close part of the park in the winter season because it freezes?
Yeah, because of the freezing, They get a lot of snow drifts and snow banks real big on the sides of the roads, and they close them. The lake freezes solid. One of the lakes do out there. So they close parts of it off. So
I'll have to figure out when the best time to go is where I can see it all, but not... Because I see them, I see the videos on the internet of, mainly the stupid tourists getting attacked by bison out there. Oh, let me pet the buffalo. Yeah. And I see all the people, I'm like, well, the older I get, the more I don't like large people. I think that comes from too much of working with the public. Yeah. But that and I don't want to see him get hurt. I don't want to be working on my vacation.
You don't want to work on your vacation. Sure.
I mean, I would definitely help them, but it's mainly the crowds. Yeah. But I don't want to be involved in all that.
You just need to transport somebody up there, man, and fly over.
Look, I know. Look, I work out of South Georgia, and I keep saying one of these times we transport to Atlanta, I want to catch a transfer or something going north to like Tennessee, so I can fly over to the base of the Appalachians, there, the Blue Ridge Mountains, in daytime, see all that. Because I can imagine it's got to be gorgeous from the air.
Oh, I bet it is.
So I keep hoping, but I keep saying, I know what's going to happen though. We're not going to be up here at 12 noon. We're going to be up here at 12 midnight.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to see
and I'm going to see it in the dark. I mean, I guess I could look
lights
at NVGs, but that's not going to be the same. You know, NVGs are cool. I see a lot of shooting stars. You know, I was going to tell you about the retirement when I called that person. I was talking to him. I said, "Man, you're at John Thompson's retirement." And I said, "This," and I don't know if I've told you this, but this is John Thompson is a hilarious person. I love John to death. He can't help but be funny and be good. Mm-hmm. But he told me a story one time because he's got his 3 daughters. I totally relate to this now, having 2 daughters. And you had 3 daughters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, there's a lot of daughters in public safety. But he said, "Man, and I think this is when his daughters, maybe like the oldest was in high school, but they were all, teens." And he said, "Man, it gets that time of the month sometimes." He said, "I'll just be cutting grass. Sometimes I'll just get done cutting grass, and I'll just be riding the lawnmower up and down the alley because I don't want to go back in that house." I laughed so hard. I didn't know where he was going with that. And it was funny to me thinking of John just in the alley with his lawnmower, just driving up and down the alley with his lawnmower. You can see him doing it, okay? Yeah, 100%. And I 100% know he did that multiple times because he wasn't lying, but I was just picturing being his neighbor and John driving past on the lawnmower, just gravel alley, just going up, going back, going up. I'm like,
oh, that's funny. He's funny.
And I told the person we talked about it, and he said, "I'm going to have to tell him that." I said, "Tell him." I said, I see if he remembers. I said, because I remember it. And I said, "Tell him." I said, "Hey, I ain't seen him in forever." Mm-hmm. But I didn't know he had 31 years in there. That's what he did. Yeah. That's a long time.
A long time. We got several of them that are leaving this year that's got that many.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, did Herb retire?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's still in Lee County.
Yeah.
He's end of April.
Yeah.
He'll be fully retiring.
Because I think
in both places.
He retired from Albany, like 5 years ago or something? It was a few many years ago, wasn't it? I feel like I remember
something
hearing
like that. It's either 3 or 5, something like that.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
3 to 5.
I thought about him a while ago. My wife was talking to somebody about cakes.
Oh, yeah.
And said, Brad got some guy at the fire department to make some cakes for him. I can't remember his name. That's Herb. Yep. I said, he can cook.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the best cakes.
Red velvet cakes is good.
I know, and he made me a carrot cake that one time because I like carrot cakes. And
oh, yeah?
It was delicious. Anything he made was good.
Yeah, he does good.
I liked old Herb. He's a jam-up guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he'd come on here. Maybe I talked to Herb. But he's so laid back. I don't know if
he's real laid back, too, yeah.
I don't know if he'd want to. I don't know if he talked that much about himself, though. You know what I mean? Because he don't really talk. He don't. He's very humble.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get him to open up. Maybe. I don't know. I might holler at him and
you probably could.
I still got his number. I like old Herb. He's a good guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He might be the one that would prefer the audio versus the video.
True. And I'll do that if anybody wants it. But and I was talking to the person we were talking about. I was talking to him about some of the difficulties I've had in trying to get some of the older timers on here. And I said, they all asked me, like, what are we going to talk about? I said, what do you want to talk about? And I said, I think it's trying to like a generational gap, trying to explain to them the concept of what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm just trying to let them see you.
Right.
I was like, I want these people to see you. And I think it's like foreign. Which I guess I get, if you're of that generation, you don't listen to podcasts and all you know of the news is little 5-minute interviews you see on the local news or something. That's, not nothing like that, And, but I don't know. I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to find a better approach.
Well, the more they see the ones you've done already,
true.
If they watch them, listen, they'll see kind of what it's about.
Yeah. There's
might make it a little easier.
Which I've thought about it too, and I've talked with people, and I might do like some 3-person interviews, get a couple of them on. Like, might be better if you got both of them on, like 2 people on together.
There you go.
So it's less intimidating. I said, maybe. I said, I'm not against it. I said, if I can get them in here, I got just enough room, maybe.
That'd be a bad idea.
Yeah. So that might be something I do. It might be a 3-person interview to make it more relaxed on them, Maybe.
Now that you got your thing cleared out.
I know.
Yeah. About 3 or 4 or 5 people around.
I know. Look, I got an idea for that. I ain't revealed too much of it yet. I've called some people. We're trying to set some stuff up. It'd just be something we do every few months. It'd be a fun pod.
Yeah.
Which these are fun, but it should be a different atmosphere. Be less professional. Probably cooking a grill in the background or something. Probably some kids running around chasing ducks or something. Well, yeah, definitely see my ducks in the background quacking at me. Probably hear my chickens going off. I got the one talkie chicken out there. But anyways, Ricky, like I said, he's always the person I respected and wanted to get on here just because he's a quiet professional. And I always respected him for that because I'm definitely not quiet and half the time professional. But I always liked that about you. And you always seem to have you always seemed a person, I never ask you specifically about this, but you always seem to have your priorities well in order. Like you knew where stuff fell, like faith, family, like friend's job or whatever. Like without talking to you, specifically about that, you always a person that seemed to have that like dialed in. And, I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't always like that. I imagine it was probably a process, but from the outside in, from a coworker, working with you, you were always very, deliberate. It seemed like in the way you approached, your faith, family, and the job.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I took it.
I mean that's kind of what you want, to be seen in that kind of light versus the other. But
and I don't know anybody.
It hasn't always been that way. I've been through a lot of
trials
in my life where the Lord has taken care of me for sure.
Yeah.
Something that happened a long time ago that you ain't even got a clue about.
Oh yeah.
You ain't even heard about things like that. But He's always brought me through.
Yeah.
And I guess it's finally sunk in.
Yeah. Can I ask you about any of that, or is that something kind of like?
Yeah. No. I mean, it's some of it's nothing more than anybody else has been through.
Yeah.
Just several different car wrecks, bad car wrecks, things like that probably shouldn't have made it out of.
Yeah. Well, I know that latest one, we can get into an hour later.
Like I was in the ambulance that was hit head on in Lee County.
I forgot about that.
And I was in a wreck in the fire truck in Albany. The lady ran through the stop sign and we T-boned her. And, basically all that stuff I came through unscathed. Now the one at the funeral I was a little bit different story.
Yeah.
But things like that, and a divorce one time, and just different things with the family, like everybody goes through, deaths in the family and stuff like that. But he just always has taken care of me, and he's always taken care of my kids.
Yeah.
Especially my kids, I'll say that he's taken really good care of them. It's been awesome to watch that and see that. So it's kind of, I guess, finally just sunken in. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
With me anyway.
Yeah.
I'm still far from
And I guess two things off of that. One, I felt like you must have had some tougher situations in life to be that calm about really everything that I would see, from work, and two, just the dedication you put into working and where your daughters are at now. I was like, it just, I guess it kind of speaks to you and your wife, what y'all put into your children and your marriage, because Ricky spent nearly 25 years at Albany,
right?
But how many years you been at Lee?
23.
So Ricky does what a lot of people, firefighters in Albany, have done around here. They work two jobs, which a lot of people work two jobs, but he works two full-time jobs. So he'll work 48 on and 24 off. And you've basically been doing that for 23 years.
Yep.
And that was always something I was like, that was mind-boggling to me, to be able to do that. Like, and I'm sure at some point you had to get burnt out with that schedule.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, and to keep a successful marriage and raise children doing that. And children have gone on to be successful. Because your one daughter, did she just graduate medical school, or is she still in it?
No, she's an actual doctor now.
Oh, yeah. Was it?
She's down at the base in Jacksonville.
Now, that was, within the past 2 years she graduated? Or how long ago was that? Because I feel like it was
graduated from med school. It's been a while.
Has it been that long? Man, I remember seeing the pictures on Facebook when she did, and I didn't feel like it was that long ago.
Yeah, she's just finished her residency year before last, I think it was.
Maybe that's what I saw.
So she went
on Facebook
through,
or something like that.
all that, and now she's paying back her time to the Navy.
Yeah,
but she's an actual physician at the Navy base down there.
Yeah,
NAS Jax.
And your other daughter, isn't she one of them teacher or something?
Yeah, she was a nurse.
Yeah,
she went to school to be a nurse, and she was a nurse at the ER in Moultrie.
Yeah,
and then she got the chance to go interview for the nursing program at the Southwest Georgia Regional School down there, the one that Sarah Brown was doing. And she got that job, she got that position, so now she's teaching the nursing program. She still works some PRN down there at the hospital.
Yeah,
just to keep her foot in the door and keep her skills up,
Yeah. Is your youngest still in school? No. What's she doing?
She is my youngest, the one that's...
okay.
Yeah, she's
okay.
my youngest.
I was thinking that was your middle one. Your oldest is a doctor, right? Or the one that finished residency?
No, she's the oldest of the
three.
Me and my wife.
Yeah.
Now that are married. My first marriage, I have a daughter from there.
Oh, okay.
She's older than both of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I was getting confused.
My son is the one that I found out about is the oldest of all.
Yeah. So. And you said he's a police officer, right?
He was.
Oh, okay.
He was. He just recently changed jobs. Now he works for a place called Sound Off Signal, I think is the name of it.
Yeah.
They sell things for public safety, light bars, sirens, stuff like that, outfit vehicles, all that kind of stuff. So he's a sales, like an area sales rep for them now.
Did you think about it's interesting that you're a firefighter and your son became a police officer working for the public too?
A lot at the beginning.
That's interesting of like how y'all never had any interaction, but y'all both wound up working with the public.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. With your daughters being a doctor and being a nurse and being a teacher, did you ever figure they'd be kind of interested in the medical field too, or
we kind of thought mine and my wife now's oldest daughter, Bristol.
Yeah,
kind of thought she would be because she always used to dress up as a doctor, like at Halloween and stuff like that. She was always wanting to do stuff, always doctoring on her little babies and stuff like that. We kind of thought she might be interested in it, but then she kind of went away from it for a little while. Got interested in music and stuff like that, so we wasn't sure what she was going to do. But then when she actually went to college, after she got done with her graduate stuff, she kind of figured out that's what she wanted to do, was go to med school. So
I hope that ain't true for my youngest, because she's
the other one we always thought was just going to be a teacher.
Yeah,
we didn't ever know she was going to do nursing.
Yeah,
we thought she was always going to be a teacher of some sort. So it's kind of ironic that it rolled around that she went to nursing. Now she's teaching nursing.
Yeah, went full circle.
Yeah, it went full circle. So
yeah, my youngest, she just wants to be a princess. So I don't know if she's trying to train to be a trophy wife, but I don't know. That girl, she's wild. I was talking to a buddy on the way back home today from work, and he's got two daughters too, and a
lot of girls around.
I'm thinking about it. A lot of girls. And his youngest is, I think, a year younger. I think his youngest is 3. But I was saying, my youngest is just feral. She is wild. And he said his youngest is very similar. But I was talking to him about daughters and whatnot. And I said, my youngest, she gonna have me white-headed by the time she gets high school. Because I'm scared, like, she gets driving age, she's going to be the wild one. My oldest, pretty confident she's the do-good one. She wants to do things right. She's kind of lazy, but she is 11, so I think she's entering those preteen,
Oh, yeah.
I guess kind of slob years. I don't know how else to describe it. You know what I mean? But she's very much would be the person, Daddy, can I go do this? Okay. My youngest would probably just call me, and I joked to my buddy this morning. I was like, she'd probably call me and be like, Daddy, I'm going with them to go skydiving. She'd probably be the one that's going to call me up and tell me that. Like, no. She's the kid jumping off the back of the couch and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, and then wears princess dresses. They have to pick out her own outfit to go to church. Look, you see me in church, you see me at mass. Just know my youngest dressed herself. Like, if she's got a mermaid dress on and jeans and like glittery shoes,
I
ain't fighting it.
That's right.
She's going to put on her own makeup. So if you see her with this crazy kids makeup on,
let her have it.
I mean, I've learned. My wife has learned too. Just whatever. Lord knows.
They'll get out of it.
She's going to do her own thing. She'll figure it out.
Then it'll go from that to everything's got to match. Everything's got to be in a perfect place. And,
I hope
hair's
so.
got to be perfect. Makeup's got to be perfect.
Look, my 4-year-old now makes she makes my wife do her hair a certain way. It's like, I want 2 braids today. I'm going this. Can you put a big braid and put a bow? Like, she'll be all specific now. It's got to be prettied up, perfect. I said, who are you trying to impress? And I joke with her. She got I said, you got a boyfriend? Wyatt. That's a little boy at pre-K. I'm like, you better not have no boyfriend. Oh, boy. And she got a little baby, a little mock phone, like rings, like a little iPhone. And she'll have it. I'm like, who are you calling? Wyatt. God, you are a terrible little one. But, she worries me. She's too smart for her own good, too, which is not a good combination. She's brave. She's,
well, we know where she gets all them smarts from.
I don't know. She probably get the recklessness from me. She probably get the smarts from her mama.
Well, you probably got a double dose of the smarts.
The recklessness, I know she probably 100%. I know the ADHD in my oldest gets 100% from me. Because me and her are on the same wavelength a lot of times. It drives mama nuts sometimes, but we'll be on the same wavelength on a lot of stuff. We speak the same language. But my youngest, she loves daddy. But she loves mama the most. Mama. But she loves to aggravate mama. And I haven't really placed my finger on that. Because daddy, she's just me. She's cool, chill. Daddy, what are we going to do? I do this. Can I help you with this? But mama's around. Mama loves to aggravate mama. And I'm like, why are you like getting under your mama's skin? I was like, I think you just do that on purpose because you can.
Know she can.
Because I know you can aggravate mama. She loves her. Where's mama? When's mama coming home? I was like, well, don't aggravate. I mean, mama's coming home, but I was like, don't be aggravating mama when you come home. As soon as she comes on the door, Mama, can you get this? You could have asked me that 30 minutes ago. But I don't know, such is the nature of kids.
Yeah, that's right. So it makes them fun.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I love them to death now. But I think about them, and I think about John Thompson riding the lawnmower up and down the alley, and I was like, yeah, I can see that. They're not that age yet, but I might be doing the same thing. I might be out here just cutting grass,
down the road,
recutting grass. Might just be out
round
here
and round the pond.
I might get the tractor out, just be bush hogging stuff over there in the woods. I don't need the bush hog. Just, I'm over here, I'm doing some work.
That's right.
Just riding around, finding something to fiddle with. Bless heart. But you grew up in Sylvester, wasn't it? You are from
Worth County.
Yeah.
I was out there where I live now. As a matter of fact, I live right beside my parents' house, which is where they built the house and moved in it when I was 1 year old. So.
Now, how many siblings did you have?
I got 2 sisters and a brother. And my brother was a fireman in Albany.
Oh, yeah.
For 8 years prior to me becoming a fireman. I'd always worked at, I'll say always, I worked at Albany Printing for 17 years before I became a fireman. And he tried to get me to join several times previously, and I wish I'd have went ahead and did it then. But I always told him I didn't make enough money.
Yeah.
When he told me what he made an hour.
Man, they didn't, especially back then.
So I never did it until we decided the job I had was going to be like a dead-end job. Didn't see a future in it. And started applying to different places, and P&G, Cooper, all those normal places, and basically was told I was overqualified for them. And then the fire department called me to go through their assessment, so I went to do that, and been there ever since. Rest is history, as they say.
It's a good thing you did, because if you went to P&G or Cooper, well, P&G still, I guess they're still there, but Cooper closed down.
Cooper closed down. The print shop closed down. In fact, Phoebe bought that lot and everything and tore that building down. It ain't even there no more.
Huh? Yeah. Was it right beside where they extended the ER now, or where was it?
You know where Riley's Cleaners is? Out on Madison.
Oh, I know the name.
Madison and First Avenue. You know the traffic light at Madison and Second Avenue right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Riley's Cleaners. Yeah, I know where you're talking about. Right down from it, right there in the corner.
Print shop sat between Second Avenue and First Avenue. On the opposite side of the road of Riley's. Yep.
Yeah, Phoebe owns a lot of that stuff down there too.
They bought all them houses and all that stuff right there, I believe.
I guess they plan on expanding in the future. Or maybe they just want the non-taxable real estate.
Right.
They'll probably sell later on.
Probably.
But did you graduate from Worth County High School?
I did. Yeah, I graduated in 84.
84. Now, how old I'm trying to wonder. I guess trying to think if my mother-in-law. I don't think they graduated from Worth County. I think she might have lived in Albany. But Tammy Bennett and David Bennett are my in-laws. I don't know when David. I know he's originally was a military brat. I don't think anything graduated from Worth County though. I don't know. My wife did, but she's way behind you.
It wasn't the Bennett that used to cut the hair and stuff, was it?
No. Now, my father-in-law, he's been doing fitness cabinetry. Well, he did work. I can't remember the name of it now. It was like a cabinet shop up there on Lido. He worked for a long while. Paul Branch knows him. He used to work with him. Called him Super Dave.
Oh, okay.
Dave Bennett.
Yeah.
He had long hair, rode a chopper motorcycle.
Yeah.
And he said, every time I see Paul, he'd be like, "How's old Super Dave?" Man, he's good. But he used to be wild. Yeah, my mother-in-law, she's kind of worked on and off with my father-in-law, I think, pretty much the whole time. She ain't really had like a job per se. I mean, she helps out, works with him, does, just stuff like that, but she's never had like a career in anything, nothing I'm aware of, more or less. I'm sure she did some odd jobs, earlier on, but now she just helps out when he needs help with his cabinetry stuff like that, which they're getting older, so I think she pretty much stays at home a lot of times now. And my sister, my oldest sister-in-law, she wouldn't have been anywhere near you because she was born. I was born in 82. I think she was born in 78. She's like 4 or 5 years older than me, so she was a good ways behind you. Yeah,
because I was born in 66.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's quite a ways back.
Yeah. I don't know anybody else. Well, nothing I can think of offhand that went to Worth County. But when you were growing up around here, were you interested in fire department at all, or did you ever? I can't imagine Sylvester or Worth County Fire Department was much. I imagine it had to be volunteer back then.
I never had any. I mean, even when we was kids and used to play around, it was always playing either war or police. I never pretended to be a fireman. Yeah, never.
I didn't either.
Never even when my brother went there, I didn't know a lot about. We would go see him sometimes and stuff like that at the station, but I never really talked about how the fire department worked and anything like that. Just never really had an interest to do it until, like I say, it was just tried all those other places to get on. Mm-hmm. We decided we'd go down to the church and just ask the church to pray for us to help us find somewhere to go, another place to work. And it seemed like it was only like a week later that he told me they were hiring again, and I went and filled out an application and got called for the assessment. So I think it was just God's way of putting me where he felt I needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
And it's been an awesome job to me. It's been really fun. You think you see everything you've already, and then something's different every time, every day. It don't matter how long you've been there. You see something a little bit different every day. Mm-hmm. So just like an EMS.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was about to say a story, but I don't. It might be a little too graphic. I was about to say something I got a report on, and I was like, "Can you repeat that?" Because when we fly in, we'll call ground and be like, "Hey, what you got?" Because sometimes our dispatch just gives like a basic thing, like it's a motor vehicle accident, it's a fall, or whatever. Right. It's just a generic. They get the basics of it to let us know, mainly for our flight planning of if we need to go to burn center, trauma center, pediatric, whatever. And I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'll tell you later, but.
Right.
It might be kind of specific to HIPAA. I don't want to get into it. It's a very specific injury, but I was like, that is a new one. I had a lot of questions. I was like, how'd this happen? But yeah, you see a lot of it never ceases to amaze you, the different ways people can get hurt or medical problems or whatever. I mean, you see a lot, a lot. You wind up with a lot of experience, but
and it always amazes me to see how some people just live.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. I talked with Pete about that. He was talking about a car wreck that he had in Doherty where a guy went off of the bypass, and this is for people that don't know, it's like a split 4-lane highway, grass median. It's like a major, it's set up more or less like a major highway. It's 4-lane, 2 lanes divided, 65 mile an hour speed limit. And the guy went towards the center and went off of the top at Sylvester Road and went down the embankment. It was at the overpass and basically shot down to the underpass at speed and rolled and all this stuff and walked out of the car. And he was like, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. And he was more worried about stuff in his car. He's like, sir, I think you need to go to the hospital. This is like a tremendous wreck. But, I mean, same thing. You know, we always say drunk people survive.
That's right.
You know, I guess because they're all relaxed. But that's an amazing thing, too. You'll see a car and, like, they lived through that. Mm-hmm. You know? And that's sometimes the most amazing thing. Like, man, you might want to talk to the Lord because you should have been. You should have not made it.
Right.
You know. Mm-hmm. I had a guy that was a semi truck that hit a dump truck at an intersection, and they had to extricate him from the dump truck because it was a concrete truck too, and so the concrete rolled over, and of course they couldn't flip that truck over,
right.
And it was like nearly upside down, and he was pinned by the dash, and it was debris all over from a semi truck hitting a concrete truck, and they got him out, and he was minorly injured, and I was like, man, that's rather amazing.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but, you see it all the time, do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fender bender and somebody's don't make it. Mm-hmm. And then one tore all to pieces and they ain't got a scratch on them.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see a minor incident and somebody's passed away. Or the same vehicle. Mm-hmm. You know, how many times, I'm sure you've seen that. Somebody's having a fatality and the person's uninjured.
Yep.
You're like, I don't know. Sometimes it makes sense, but there's been a good many times for don't make sense. I don't know if I told this story on here, but when I was on the ground before I started, it was here in Worth County. We got called up on road, 2-lane road, and the person had been ejected through the trees, like lower body was like destroyed, and we called air evac in to come get him, and where evac was closest, they came and got him, and that person was tore up. And I was like, I don't know if they're gonna make it. And they RSI'd them. They were still breathing, but they were in a bad way. Like legs are swelling, just demolished lower extremities, like fractures on top of fractures. Mm-hmm. You're telling you know, like they're just bleeding internally, lowerly in their lower extremities. And while we're messing with them, everybody's in the back of the truck working on them. You know, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's controlled chaos in the back of the ambulance, trying to prep to get them to the LZ. And I remember law enforcement comes up to me and goes, "Hey, do you want to check this guy out?" And I'd seen him walking around the scene. I thought he was just a bystander. And I said, "What's going on with him?" "Well, he was in the vehicle, too." I said, "He was in the car?" "Yeah, he was driving." I said, "You're going to have to call another ambulance." I said, "My hands are full." I said, "Call another med unit." And I was like, that guy who's been walking around for 20 minutes was the driver of it. And just got up, walked away. And this girl was ejected. Neither one was secured. But was just, this girl got thrown through the trees and was in a bad way. Well, she might have had a good outcome. And I'd seen her laying around, walking around. But I was like, that guy was completely uninjured, walking around. I was like, what's he complaining of? I don't know. I think you need to check him out, though. I was like, look, I got too much going on. You got to call another unit. I was like, all right, have fire department check him out. But if he wants to be transported, there's no way. Like, we're going over here. But, yeah, that guy was nothing wrong with him at all. Mm-hmm. And which I never heard anything else. So I'm assuming nothing was wrong with him. But, yeah, he walked around out there for 20, 30 minutes. And I thought he was just a bystander. I didn't know. Nobody mentioned it to me because we're all concentrating on the patient that was worse, the most critical. But I thought she was the sole occupant. I guess, you know, it helps to specifically ask questions sometimes.
It does.
I try to remember, you know, with everything, firearms, learn that, you know, you have everything in your pockets, or if they're not conscious, pat them down. I brought someone to the hospital one time, the guy had a .380 in his pocket, and the nurse was like, "Hey, did you miss this?" I was like, well, yeah. I didn't check him. I mean, it wasn't the end of the world, but, I mean, you know, just, if they got big baggy pockets on their jackets, pat them. I mean, just for your safety. And it was a loaded .380 in his pocket the whole time. We was working on him, bad trauma, which he, in a bad situation, I guess knew I had the gun. He got shot a few times. I don't think he made it. But that's early on in the fire department. I rode him with the ambulance. But, yeah, loaded .380 in his pocket. Never knew him. So I kind of check now, but I'll ask him, "You got any weapons on you?" So I know. Well, we can't have weapons in the aircraft, you know. Like, that's the main thing. Or, you know, like if somebody's got a bag, "Hey, you got any air slide spray?" You know, we can't have going up to altitude or something, have like a can of hairspray explode. Anything like that.
They check them now at Phoebe with that little wand. Security people do, even the patients. If you got a bag, they want to look through it, and they're going to wave that wand over you to check you out.
Macon started doing that heavy too up there in Absinthe. They don't do it as much to us. Like, we're coming into trauma, they're not going to stop us. But I think less emergent stuff, they'll stop us and wave us. And they were they were telling other crews, another crew was telling me, hey, if you go up there, they're going to scan you. Make sure you ain't got no metal and whatever on you. I was like, well, I carry a pocket knife in my flight suit. It ain't no trauma shears. I'm like, I'm going to carry that. Like, I don't think they really care that much about us, but I was like, I carry just a little backup, little pocket knife. Right. And, of course, my trauma shears are probably more of a hazard than my little bitty pocket knife.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they wanted to hold it, which is a funny thing, too. Like, I've gone into Phoebe, and I forget I have a pocket knife on me, I'll go in there and see my wife or something, like, oh, you got a knife in your pocket? Oh, yeah, I got my pocket knife. Okay. I was like, hey, can I just leave this here with you? You got to take it back to your car. I was like, man, my car's way out there. And one day I was not in the mood, and I said, hey, look, I'm just going to leave this here. I said, I'm not walking out of my car. I said, I just got to go in here and give something to the wife, and they didn't want to hold on to it. I guess liability or something, but I kind of just didn't give it an option to sit there behind their desk, and I was like, hey, it's going to be right here. I said, if I can't carry it in there, I'm not walking all the way back out there, feel like a quarter mile to my car in that parking lot for this little pocket knife.
Right.
If you're worried about it, where you set it.
Yeah.
But I get it, but it's kind of like ridiculous. Why don't you got like a little lock tray or something there?
Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah.
But,
like you do at the courthouse.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just hold it here. But it's probably like a liability on them, I guess, to hold on to a weapon. But that's the only thing I could think of. I didn't ask.
Probably. In case some crazy guy comes in there and grabs a hold of it.
Yeah. Or if somebody comes back, hey, where's my knife? Then maybe they're responsible, I guess, or something. That would be my guess. And if I asked them, I don't even know if that security would even know. But
right.
Yeah, that's my thought. But when you started at fire department, I know you started later in life because you did print shop. So how old were you when you started fire department?
I was 34, turning 35 that year.
Yeah.
When I went through recruit class.
So were you the old guy in the recruit class?
There was 3 of us that were about the same age, and the rest of them were 18, 19 years old. There was 23, I think, of us that started recruit class, so we had a pretty big class.
Now, Albany back then, did they train their own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't train their own anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every now and then we'll hire, they'll open up a position for people that are already certified. Yeah. But for the most part, we were still running our own recruit class. We still they take the test, get certified. They have to pass them, all the way up to hazmat.
Yeah.
To be able to come online and work.
Well, see, I didn't know that because, I was doing, when I started my fire service career, I started taking Albany Tech's fire class because I thought that's how my buddy told me to get on Albany Fire. He's like, go to Albany Fire, do I guess it was like Fire 1 stuff, whatever. And then you get hired on with Albany. And then I was living in Americus at the time. And then Americus spot came open and they trained their own. And they just hire you off the street. And I was like, shoot, I'm going to get paid to train instead of paying my own dime. And that's why I did it. I didn't know Albany trained their own.
Yeah, that's how. I think they tried it for a couple of times later after I'd already started there, that they got Albany Tech to train their guys, and they would hire from that pool of people. Yeah. But they prefer to do it themselves in-house.
Yeah, I think that's
just
a better
seems
way.
To work out better.
That might have been like when I was trying to get on with them was during that time, because that's what I was told was the thing you had to do, and I never really asked anybody after that.
Yeah.
Good to know, because I'll see people wanting to get into it.
Yeah, when I was doing it, we only had like 8 weeks. It was either 8 or 10 weeks that you went through recruit class, and then at the end of it, you had to pass those tests. Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, Hazmat, Awareness, and Ops is what we came online with.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the same thing in Americus when I went through, the same requirements. And I remember it was, 5 days a week. You came there like 7 in the morning. Might have been 7:30, because I think it was right after the fire department shift change. I think it was, because they changed shift 7. And I think we had to be there. Might have been 6:30. It was right before or after. Might have been after. But then we had PT. So they take us on a little jog, calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, run, jump jacks, all that stuff for like an hour or two. And then we go into, I can't remember if it was classroom first. No. I don't remember. When we would do the PT, then I think we would do skills. And then after lunch, I think we did like classroom. Or it might have been reversed. I can't remember. But we did that Monday through Friday. And it was like 8 weeks. And you had to... pass everything, pass all your qualifications. Yep. In which I remember Americus was real big on, speed dressing. Like to get past rookie school, you had to get fully dressed, breathing air in under a minute. Like state was 2 minutes. We're like, no, you got to be under a minute.
Okay.
And so it was always a thing to see who could be the fastest. And I think the fastest I got down to was like sub 50. I think I got like 48. But there were some people that got down like high 30s, like speed dressing, and they do the state competitions.
Yeah, that's quick.
Yeah, and I don't think I ever busted 40. But I think the lowest I got was like under 50, like 48, which is still fast. You don't realize it. But that's a lot of stuff you got to get on quick, and you got to have it all percolated out. So like every day, we'd speed dress from day one to the end of it.
It's definitely a routine. Like you got to have it set up right for you.
Yeah, yeah, and you'll get it laid out perfectly where your gloves are going to be. And gloves are always the hardest thing for me, getting them things on fast. And some people wind up sizing up gloves to get them on a little faster, but. I think I have big hands.
Yeah, mine are wide.
Yeah.
Through the knuckles.
Yeah, that's my buddy.
That's where I have hardest times getting them past there.
Yeah, my palms are big. I get mine on my palms. I think I was already about maxed out on glove size. I was either XL or double XL, but that was always the hardest thing for me was take the time to get my gloves on.
Yep.
And especially, if you'd been doing stuff before training and then things are a little bit wet,
or if they forget were wet, about it. It was terrible.
Like trying to put on a wet sock.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I loved the speed dressing. Came a challenge. Racing everybody else in your recruit class.
Yeah, everybody used to put like baby powder and stuff in their jackets and stuff like that to make them slide through faster. People would be speed dressing. You'd see powder just flying everywhere.
There was one lady in our department who was super fast, and she got like big turnouts and stuff to make herself faster. But they said she would do that when they did the speed dress competition stuff. And I think she was like under 30.
I was supposed to say, Aaron Tomlinson. You know Aaron, don't you?
I know the name.
He worked in Albany. He was real fast. He won a couple of those competitions with sub 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say something like they said she could do it like 27 seconds or something. I was like, good Lord. But they said, well, she's got everything baby powdered, and, all the turnouts are like, half size too big, gloves are
all that helps. All that helps.
Yeah. And but yeah, that wouldn't work for us in recruit school because that baby powder would have got gummed.
Oh, yeah.
Like your turnouts were felt like my turnouts
already
were
wet.
Yeah, constantly wet. You'd hang them up to dry, but they were, every day you were sweating in them. And my recruit class was, we graduated in July, so it was like May, June into July, so it was hot.
In fact, when I went through training, the person we were talking about earlier that you're going to interview, had hurt his foot, broke his foot, and so he was on light duty. Yeah, and they put him in training to assist teaching recruit class.
Oh, that would have been
So I had Joe Pollock.
Yeah,
the one was chief in Lee County, and that guy was his assistant who basically taught our whole class.
I know he was probably hard on y'all in a good way.
It was. He definitely had us prepared.
I was about to say, I bet y'all were highly prepared.
We were prepared. We'd just be sitting around, in class. He always kept us whistle on the desk. And anytime he blew that whistle, we had to get up, take off running outside at the old training center where we had our gear lined up. And everybody had to quick dress. Yeah. And if everybody didn't get it done in the 2 minutes, we had to do it again. And so it was just constant, all day long. We'd be just sitting there talking, and he'd be going through something, or we'd be doing work in the book, and just all of a sudden out of nowhere the whistle would blow, So we got to where we was watching him, we'd see his hand would slide toward that whistle. When it did, everybody would push the chairs back, take off running. We were knocking people over. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun though.
It's funny, like the first week you're trying it, and like everybody is like 4 minutes. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. They're letting you fumble around. Then you're trying to get the hook up into your mask, and you're sitting there like, which way is this? And then you learn, you look for the knob and you click it, but they're letting you mess around and letting you look like an idiot. But that was it's funny going back because I saw a couple recruit classes after mine, and I was like, man, look terrible. I guess we're all terrible when we start.
We are terrible when we first.
But
started.
you get it down. You start figuring it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
You get down close to 2 minutes. I felt like pretty quick. And then after that, you're fine tuning. All right, I'm gonna lay these gloves exactly like this. I'm gonna have my pants just like this. Then
and you learn too that if you try to go fast, it usually slows you down.
Yeah.
It messes you up. They say smooth is fast.
Yeah, slow,
so
smooth.
You want to try to go smooth.
Yeah.
And then you don't make any mistakes, so it just knocks time off.
Yeah, you learn to go ahead and extend the straps out on your SCBA, so you can tighten them real quick. And, with some people, I know they changed it, I think right after I did it, but, some people would throw the SCBA over their head, to put on the back. Some would swing it around, then like, all right, we can't do that anymore. You can't swing it over your head because I guess some people are knocking themselves in the head with the SCBA. Especially when we were in recruit class, you had the steel bottles.
Right.
Because those ones we had in recruit, they gave us the steel. They weren't give us the carbon fiber ones.
Yeah, they were heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, don't mess up. Look, I made a terrible decision in one of the hose evolution drills. Because you ran out of air, you just come off air, and they're going to pull your Nomex down. I want to say your hood down so you couldn't see, because you're doing blind drills, doing hose evolutions. And so then it was hot. It's hot in that training center, and now you're breathing hot air, or at least the cool air would clothe you. So I thought, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to get one of the bottles of our tower that they had for the tower truck, which is a 4,500-pound bottle, steel bottle. So that thing was, I don't know what the weight was on it, but I had to lug that thing around doing all the hose evolutions. Like, this is a terrible idea. This thing is, it's like a 40-pound bottle or something back. Yeah. It was, ginormous. I had all the air in the world, but I probably used it all up.
Trying to hold it around.
Yeah. I'm sure they're like, all right, well, he's going to learn how terrible idea this was. Yeah. Yeah, not the 2,200 pound. I'm going to get the 4,500 pound. Yeah, I'm going to sneak this in. It wasn't sneaking in. It was a ginormous bottle. It was tall, long way. It was a terrible idea. But the big old heavy bottle.
It sounded good at the time.
Yeah, I can have all there. I'm not going to run out. You have instructors messing with you, crimping your hose, making you go through your emergency procedures. I hated that, sucking my mask to my face. You'd be blind, doing hose evolution, somebody crimp your hose, and all of a sudden your mask sucks to your face. Can't pull it off. Pull it off, fail.
Yep.
And, oh, man, those are terrible things. That would give you some claustrophobia. You'll learn real quick if you're claustrophobic or not doing it.
You do.
I feel like it probably made a lot of people claustrophobic doing them. I don't know. I'm sure y'all did hose evolutions a similar way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they made us put those masks on, like, early in class. Just wear them all day. Put them on and wear them.
Ugh.
To get used to them. You find out if you're claustrophobic or not.
I didn't mind it as long as I was breathing air, but I couldn't stand wearing that mask.
Yeah, no, we were just street clothes, sitting in the classroom with them on, doing schoolwork.
Oh, wow. I don't think we had to do that. I think if you had issues, you're going to have to wear it to get comfortable with it, or, you're going to have to leave the department, get out of the class. But I never let on. I didn't like that thing.
Oh, no.
I hated that thing getting fogged up, too.
Yes.
Have to unplug, and then it gets all fogged up. You can't see nothing, especially if you're doing any kind of drill where you had to see. And, because you don't realize the difference it made just breathing that cool air out of that bottle.
That's right.
You start breathing that hot air, it was terrible.
Yep.
It made it worse. Much worse.
Get all that condensation on the mask, too, and you can't see.
Oh, man. It was terrible. And then you think you're going to be smart, you're going to hit the bypass, give yourself a little more air, and you burn that bottle down. You got to learn real quick to control your breathing, calm down. So, which, I say, I've never liked going underwater, which I was probably like 7. I almost drowned in my pool, and I didn't like, never like going underwater. So I always made a joke. I was like, you ever hear like Brad died in a diving accident? No, he was murdered. I guarantee you I didn't do that voluntarily. I don't like being under the water like that. So like putting the mask on, I wasn't too excited about it, but it wasn't the same thing. But I wasn't supremely fond of it. I thought about it for a while. I was trying to do the smoke diver stuff, but I was like, I can't do all that in a mask all day like they want to do. I couldn't do it. I don't think I'd do it. The PT part, sure, but the other stuff, like, but you're in, from what they told me, you're in full turnouts and mask and everything. I was like, I don't think I'd do it. But yeah, that just that cold air for some reason, it I don't know, took all that away. You'd be burning up hot, but that cold air coming from the SCBA is,
feels good.
It started vibrating. You're like, oh crap! See them dots go down. It starts vibrating on you. Suck in a breath, it quits, and it starts going, or suck in a breath, starts going off.
Yep.
And everybody, it's funny too. The trainings, everybody's got the butt wiggle.
Turn
off that pass device.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop, hitting people. Move, turn it off before it starts going haywire. I feel like you could never get that thing first time.
No,
to shut it up.
No, I never did.
I felt like in rookie school I was going to hear that. I heard the thing in my sleep. The pass device going off. You got real good in rookie school to learn how to turn that thing off.
Yeah. Yeah, you do get good at it over there.
Now in Albany, do y'all have the comms in your
we do now.
mask?
We didn't then, but we do now. Yeah,
they were integrating that right when I left the fire service.
Yeah, we got the voice box on the side, and we got a heads-up display.
Yeah,
that's got lights on it. It tells you, how much air you got in your bottle.
Yeah,
and then we got the voice box on the side that works pretty good.
Does everybody have them, or just like captains?
No, everybody has them. Yeah, all the masks have them.
I think when they started implementing when I left, I think just they were giving it to the officers. Probably didn't want everybody on it. But at the time too, only the officers carried radios
right
into the fire. And
we've talked about doing that, but right now everybody has a radio that they use every day.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a radio assigned to them that they take home, but like battalion chiefs do, people in training do, fire prevention, stuff like that. But everybody shares a radio on the. There's 4 radios on the truck. Yeah. All the time. So they're supposed to have a radio. Mm-hmm. But they've thought about it because it's so expensive now, man, to replace radios. And if you go buy all new radios, they're like $8,000 a piece now.
I remember when Lee County went to assigning radios to people when they went to the 800s. And like, here's your radio. Don't lose it. It's $2,000. Like, I don't want this thing. Mm-hmm. I don't need it. And like, no, it's yours. I'm like, but what about if I don't want this thing? Yeah. They're like, no, it's yours. Yeah. And they told me they were like $2,000, $2,500, and I was nervous. I left it at the station all the time. And they're like, no, you can't leave it there. I was like, I'm not taking this thing home. I don't want to take it home. Mm-mm. And I think I didn't get in trouble per se, but I think I left it at the station. I think somehow it got knocked down behind the coffee table or something, and the red button got hit. And they were calling me. I was like, I don't have my radio. Then I got in trouble for not having my radio and it going off. And somebody, mashed the red button on it. And, there's somebody. Which red button on it, if those that don't know, it's like a person distress. It's your distress button. There's a red button on top of the radio. And if you hit it, they're automatically supposed to send police to your location because it's a distress signal. You're in trouble. And so they're going to try to contact you and send law enforcement your way, wherever it is, because they can track the radio. And, so they were mad at me, but which doesn't always work out. I think this was a thing that they're saying then, that they're not supposed to hit you on the radio, because if you are in trouble and it's like somebody's got you held hostage or something, they're not supposed to say, hey, did you hit your distress button? They're supposed to send law enforcement, but I think they know 90% of the time it's been
most of the time it's an accident.
Yeah. But it's there. So don't hit nobody's red button on the radio. But the cost of those radios, I believe they're
outrageous now, man. Outrageous.
Gosh, does Albany issue them out like that, or does Lee County still do that? Issue out a radio?
They issue them to certain people like that. All the officers have one.
Yeah, I guess why.
The others stay on the trucks.
Yeah. Man, it's ridiculous. The comm systems. Mm-hmm. We're battling that all the time. Well, we don't have our own radios. Well, they have. Each medic, there's a nurse medic and 2 pilot radios, portables at the base and the base station. But you don't have your own take home. I'm not upset about it. But
I don't ever take mine home. Yeah, I leave it in my locker locked up.
I was so worried about losing it. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't want to lose this thing because, if you lose it, it's going to come out of your check. I was like, and we weren't making that much. That was like couple checks. Mm-hmm. Which I think I said Fort O'Brien or something. Like when I started fire department, my base pay was $19,000 a year. Dang. That was with the overtime. So I'm glad the salaries have come up, but it was nothing back then. I think I'm sure it's when you started. I think our hourly pay was like the minimum wage because of the built-in overtime.
Yeah, I don't remember what the yearly was, but I think when I started, it was like we were making like $8 and something an hour.
Man. I think I might have been less as an entry firefighter, because I remember. The only reason I remember that is because right after I started, they did the salary reassessment stuff, and they went up over $20,000. They went like $2,000, like 21. But like when I started, it was like 19.
Right. When we were in training, of course, you were on 8 hours, 40-hour week, so you made about $2 more an hour. Hourly rate. We was making about $10 an hour while we was in training. Yeah. But when we came online, it dropped back to 8 something because you went to a 56-hour work schedule then. So
I've never understood that. Well, I guess I do, but fire department y'all are on the 56-hour, overtime to 56 hours in a week. But EMS is 40. And I remember when I started EMS, like my hourly pay was like the same. Mm-hmm. And, it was like $24.48, same as fire department. Like, well, you get overtime after 40. It's like, how we get overtime after 40? Well, I'm not complaining, but fire department's 56. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, EMS after 40, fire department after 46.
Yeah, that's pretty much 56. Still the norm, too, I believe.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to get EMS taken to 56. There'd be a lot of people. Not that I'd have to sway on it.
They'd be mad at you.
But I don't know how it's like that. And it's interesting, too, like the combined departments. It's a fire department. So if you're working an ambulance at the fire department, I guess you're up under the 56-hour pay week, I guess, because it's a fire department.
That's how Lee County does.
Yeah. So that's crazy to me.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that's maybe from a financial aspect for a county, that's a better way to save money.
It's definitely more affordable for them.
Yeah. But they always say, the benefits and stuff they give you costs way more than hourly pay. That's the main cost of an employee. So I'm told. I never seen it on paper, but I know they've mentioned us in air service when they have to replace an employee. Like there's a heavy investment into them. They don't like to have like bring in a new person, if they can avoid it, because the training and everything to get us on,
right,
and investment into us is a lot of money. I don't think they really think about that too much, but I'm sure it is a good investment.
Mm-hmm.
And just from having to get people on, which I mean, every department you're gonna have to do that, like rookie schools and everything else. It's investment into them.
Yeah,
but I do think that's a worthwhile investment for fire departments to train your own.
Yeah, I do.
I enjoy. Look, I still talk highly about Americus, and I trained up. I think it's a good way to get people vested in service to do that, and train them up exactly how you want to train them. Instead of people come in and be like, "Oh, this department over here, we did it this way."
Right, that's right. You train them how you do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I've tried to send a few people America's Fire's way that like younger people got out of high school, didn't really have direction. I'm like, go join the fire department. I don't know. I was like, look, I'm telling you, at least give you some kind of direction, give you some kind of discipline. It's not necessarily military, but it'll give you some level of discipline. I said, they'll straighten you up.
Yeah.
I said, you'll learn. Them guys up there will get you straight, or you'll leave.
That's right.
I said, but you ain't doing nothing else. I said, and a lot of people I see a little bit myself, like, outdoorsy, not so much office job people, like good, strong people are like, look, you join the fire department. Yeah.
It's a job that'll make you grow up, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's enjoyable. Like you said, you see, it's the same stuff every day, but the different stuff every day, too. You never know what you're going to get. You might have no calls. It might be busy as can be. You get no sleep. But, it's a lot of different stuff. You're not trapped in an office.
Right.
And that's what my thing. I couldn't do an office job. I still couldn't. Even I'll be 44 this year, and I still couldn't do it. Which I've been in the hospitals, and people are like, how long you been doing this? Actually, I'm not a young fella anymore. Like, man, I've been doing 24-hour shifts since I was 22. No, yeah, 22. And I was like, so it's like all I've known for really half my life, more than half my life at this point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of second nature. It was funny talking with Brian. Brian's now assistant director, and he works 9 to 5, 7 to 4. He's like, man, it's adjustment. He's like, I don't know how people get stuff done during the week, doctor's appointments and stuff. He's like, I got to take off work where before, I used to get so much done on my off days. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. You got a lot of off days.
Yeah.
And that's funny going back to, you said you didn't know any firefighters or anything growing up. I didn't either. But the only thing I knew of firefighters is my dad ran a hunting club, and there's one guy in the hunting club that's a firefighter, and he used to whine about him because he'd go down there during the week when everybody else was working, and he'd hunt, and he'd get mad. He's like, man, I know he's been in my stand. Like, he'd live a Snickers wrapper or something. Like, that joker's hunting my stand. And he said he'd always whine about him. He's like, man, he's down there hunting our stands during like a Wednesday. All the rest of us got to work, in the hunting club. Because he was off during the week.
Yeah, you got to go when you're off.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played a lot of golf when I was a single man. Working fire department, which I live not far from the golf course, but I had a lot of free time.
Yeah.
I played a lot of golf.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot.
Now I got kids and stuff, and I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I always say I'm going to do something that I always find something I got to do around the house. There's always something to do.
Always something to do here.
Something comes up, some problem, such as life of adult kids. So enjoy your free time you got now if you're just starting out in public safety. Once you get kids and stuff, life gets busy.
That's right.
You don't realize all the time you wasted. I wouldn't trade it, but yeah. You know, them easy days of not doing anything, just going to play some golf, kicking back, watching Netflix. You watch Netflix at the station now, or at least I do.
Yeah, try to anyway.
Yeah, listen to podcasts in the car, and I seldom ever watch TV at the house just because, I don't know. I think who was talking to about a college football trip. I was like, look, man, I ain't got time to sit down on a Saturday now and watch 3 hours of football unless I'm at work and somebody's watching it. I was like, I just don't have time to invest in it. I was like, it's a weekend at the house, kids are home, like, we got something to do. Or they're, doing something, and I'm doing something, which is good, But I was like, I don't have that time anymore.
That's right. Yep.
Seems like a relic of the past. Like playing Xbox. I used to play a lot of Xbox. Since me having one now, it would never get played. At least by me. My kids, I'm sure, would find something to play on it. But man, these allergies, this pollen around here is killing me.
I've been battling it for the last couple of weeks myself.
Man, I've been dying, and it don't help. I don't feel like with my job because I fly all over different parts of the state, and I'll be hitting different stuff, like like Georgia. We're like down here in what do they call it's north of Piedmont. We're coastal, and so like Georgia has kind of got a unique, I guess, geography. We're down in South Georgia. We're in the coastal. It used to be the ocean. We got the sand down here, clay. The Macon's like the fall line where it ended. So above Macon, it's like the Piedmont, they call it or whatever. So you get above Macon, it's like all kind of different environment and plants and stuff and grasses. And I swear every time I get up to Atlanta or something, it tears me up, like especially this time of year. There's something that blooms, or probably multiple things that bloom above Macon. Every time I get above Macon, my allergies get haywire.
Dang.
This time of year. I don't like it.
It's crazy.
I mean, I know people got worse allergies, but you hear me snorting over here, trying to pull my allergies back. But growing up, what did your parents do? I know you said before, like, nobody was in public safety or anything.
No, my dad was had his own business. He was a heating and air guy.
Yeah.
He worked for himself. My mom basically helped him with the books and phone calls and stuff like that for the business.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it was. My dad worked all the time. I guess that's kind of where we got our sense of work, as you said earlier, just always seemed to be, dialed in for working. I guess that's kind of where we got it from, because that's all he ever did. He never really had any hobbies.
Yeah.
He didn't go, as a kid, he went fishing and hunting and stuff like that, but as a grown-up, he never ever did anything hard like that. If we went anywhere, it was either on vacation or to church, and that was about it.
Yeah. So. It's amazing how you don't understand that stuff when you're younger. Because, I hunted with my dad, but, he didn't really do much else. But he didn't have time for much else because we were always into sports and everything else. And you don't really realize, they didn't have time for much else. Working and taking care of the family.
That's right.
But,
Yep.
Which, I know, like I said before, you always seem to have your priorities in order. And, like, I know your faith's always been big with you. And, but you said you're always doing something with the church. So y'all were always involved with a church?
Yeah, we was in church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday, choir practice. My dad was a deacon, so we was always in church. Always went to sings, all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
just always doing something.
Has that something you've always kept, or did you always? Was there a time when you felt like you went out of it, like out of religion?
I definitely went away from it. Life gets busy, or at least that's the excuse we use. I'll say it that way, because we could make time if we wanted to, chose to. So I definitely went away from it some, but I tried to stick with it, as best I could, especially when my kids were at home and little. We tried to make sure we kept them in church and active and doing things, and they're way more active in it than we are now. They're in it. And they do really good. Yeah, it's really good to watch. So, wish they don't do it quite as much as we should. honestly, but we still had the faith. We still believe. We still pray. Still rely on prayer. Prayer's all that got me through from that bad accident that we had. That was the only thing that got me through, and I believe that 100%.
Yeah. Which I want to get into your wreck stuff in a little bit, but for a long while there, I hate to say atheist because I kind of feel like the rational side of me always thought that was dumb. Because how can you not know a thing? Like, how can you disprove a negative kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if there's a God, but I can't for sure tell you there's not one. I always thought that was kind of like a non-rational way to be. Like, how do you know there's not a God? Like, I don't know. It just seemed to me like logically, which I always, to my downfall, was trying to be a logical person, didn't make sense. But religion didn't make sense to me for a while there, which I grew up Methodist. I was confirmed. I was lost faith for a long time. I was not interested in it, which it's not my parents' fault. They went to church, but they were kind of casual about it. They didn't put emphasis on it. And then the older I got, got high school, college, whatever, I got way out of it. Atheism was real big when I was of that age. Yeah. And I didn't really, especially that age. A lot of your friends, at least when I was, college, high school, they weren't going to church either. At least not like an emphasis like they wanted to go. And I'm sure I had friends that went to church, but I don't ever remember talking to them about it. Mm-hmm. Which now I think that's changed. My nephews, and I give him grief about not coming to Mass, which he's Catholic too. Pretty much the reason I got into the Catholic faith. Well, my wife and him. But, just returned to church as a whole. But, I don't know. I remember having a conversation with Brian when I was on the truck with him about it, and I thought it was stupid. But now the older I've got, I've definitely changed my tune on that from if you'd have met me, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, probably. Something like that. Way back. Yeah, probably 15, 20 years ago. It's just interesting, Mm-hmm. And I think I mentioned to Brian about, I'm sure I'm a whole lot different than I am now. Which, to some degree, in some aspects. I mean, I know I'm the same person for the most part, but anyways, I know your wreck when you got, and I guess I'll let you I kind of set it up a little bit, but I know, we live in a small town, and I had got off that morning and from work, and I had a couple phone calls. Might have been my wife calling first. And people were asking me if I was working. I said, no, I'm not working. And they told me that a couple firefighters had got hurt in a wreck. And I was like, what? And they told me that it was not a fire truck involved, not work involved, and that y'all had got hurt and hit. Y'all were getting flown out. And I was trying to figure out who it was. But, yeah, I got off that morning and heard about it. But, Ricky got flown. Mm-hmm. You got flown by... survival flight, right? Flight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Danny. I kept wanting to call him Johnny. Danny got flown by air evac. Yeah, both of them flew in there to y'all. And I remember hearing just the way y'all's church was. It's like a crossroads kind of, and one's a 55 mile per hour 2-lane, and the other one's, I guess, 55, but they're supposed to hit a stop sign. And it's something that the driver had like a medical problem. And blew right through the stop sign, right through the parking lot, hit a bunch of cars, and hit y'all. Now, were y'all the only two that were hit, or was there anybody else?
No, there was a third, a girl.
I know y'all got the worst of it, but yeah, they plowed right through the cars and hit y'all. And I know, I was very worried there for a little bit, and then because the first reports we had were y'all were bad.
Well, there was a paramedic on scene.
Yeah,
that was helping park cars.
Yeah,
his dad was preaching the funeral.
Yeah.
And so when it happened, he almost got hit. If you see the video, he almost gets hit. So he's walking.
Yeah.
And that car just comes right forward, and he just stops and throws his hands up like this, and it wheels right in front of him. And then it hits. And so he immediately runs over to where we're at.
Yeah.
And starts going into paramedic mode and triage and all that. And so when he looked at me, he said, I was already gray. I had snoring respirations. And he was pretty much counting me out. He said, I moved on to Danny and started trying to see what I could do for him. And then some of the firemen came out from the inside.
Yeah.
And they were down there, so he just was telling them, keep eye on him, let me know if he's still breathing, things like that. So he would be working on Danny. He'd over there and ask him, is he still breathing? And they would say, yes. After about the third time, they said, yes, and he's talking to us. Huh. So I don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was just walking, talking to Danny, and the next thing I know, I'm on the ground and being jostled back and forth. They're moving me, I guess, dragging me out from under the car, and put me on the backboard and all that. The helicopter, from what I remember, was already there. I don't know if it was or not, but I just remember getting put on the backboard, getting put in the back of the ambulance, talking to Nathan Weiss and Zach Fender, as a matter of fact, was there. And then they moved me to the helicopter.
Now, I remember hearing that one of y'all was trapped under the car. Was that you? Or both of y'all?
I think we both were we were tangled with each other.
Yeah.
I don't think we were necessarily trapped by the vehicle.
Yeah.
But we were kind of tangled. Our legs and stuff together were kind of tangled together.
Yeah.
So they kind of had to move us out from under it like that. But I'm not going to say we were necessarily trapped by the vehicle.
Yeah, it's all
we were definitely under it.
Yeah. Because it was all like, third-hand information I was hearing. Because I never, I don't think I talked to you about that. Well, except for last interview, we talked about it some. Since that, before the accident, But, yeah, I know it was terrible. And, how long did you spend down there in the hospital? You were down there for what, 2-3 weeks?
No, I was in Tallahassee for 26 days. Oh. And then I moved to the swing bed facility in Worth County. Yeah. And I was there for another 22 days before I went home. And when I went home, I was still in a wheelchair. They was able to really have time to teach me was how to slide from a chair to chair, bed to chair on a slide board.
So it was all basically lower legs, like where the car
from the kneecaps down. It broke both my tib fibs right under my kneecaps, broke my right ankle, and broke 2 fingers on my hand, and then I had a brain bleed. Oof. So, it was just a long. Where the bones were broke under my kneecap, they said was the worst place it could have gotten broke. Yeah. If it had been lower down on the leg, it probably would have been a piece of cake. But.
Now your brain bleed, that was that thing they had to go and treat, was it just a small bleed that kind of...
It was a small bleed. It dissolved on its own after a month or so. Yeah. It was gone. Had a lot of dizzy spells, a lot of headaches in the beginning early. That was terrible. Had to take prescription stuff to get rid of. And it was real. Every time I'd sit up or try to move or anything, I'd get real dizzy. And that lasted for a pretty good while. Even once I got home, that still lasted. Every time I'd sit up or lay down, the room would start spinning for a few minutes, and then it would have to stop.
How many surgeries you wind up having to have on your legs? Didn't you have to have a bunch of surgeries?
There was 5 different ones altogether, and it was mainly because they didn't do them all at one time.
Yeah.
Separate times, so there was 5 different ones.
Are you done with all the surgeries now? Are they going to do any more? Or?
The only thing I'll have to do is, if I decide down the road I need to have knee replacement, they told me that was probably a likelihood. Yeah, but they were going to leave it up to me. Yeah, I've got one screw that's trying to back out on this thing. He said that was an easy fix. He could just cut it and remove it. Yeah, I'm looking at having that done soon. Yeah, but other than that, everything is just. They would already put those metal plates in right underneath the kneecap. It gets real tight and still swells, a lot. I have to wear compression socks and stuff like that. But
so can you feel that screw?
Oh, yeah. You can see it right there.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah, and it's in the worst spot because, I'm one of them guys that likes to drive with my leg kind of pulled back and propped up against the door. So it's constantly hitting the door. Ow. So it gets sore.
Yeah, imagine so. I was sitting thinking, I was like, I guess I kind of do that. I'll set my cruise and leave my leg.
That's me. If I set the cruise, I got my leg propped up against that door right there. Man. This is the minor things, the little things. Yeah. Yeah. Things not a major inconvenience by no means, but,
things you don't think about until it is an issue.
Yeah, it just bugs you.
Man. So how long were you out for before you could get back to any kind of work? Because I know...
I was out 3 months, but I went back because I felt like I needed to mentally. Yeah. But I probably wasn't physically quite ready. Yeah. But I went back anyway. And my wife even told me I wasn't physically ready, and I really wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, because walking was still pretty tough. I couldn't stand in one spot. I couldn't stand still. If I stood in one spot, I had to be moving, rocking, something, because it just the strain, all the muscles. I got so weak. Like the first time I stood up after surgery and my own weight, it felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds. Like I could not even slide my feet. You know what I mean? So I had to get all that strength back and stuff like that, and it just my calves. I couldn't straighten my legs all the way, so I was like in a partial squat all the time. So my calves would just be burning. You know, so I had to keep moving. It was easier to walk, than it was to stand in one spot.
I know I was worried if you're ever going to come back to work. You know, I heard about how long you were down there, so I was like, I don't know if Ricky's going to come back.
They told me it would be a year before I went back to work. If then, they said it'd be a year and 3 months. I mean, when I went back, like I say, I wasn't quite ready because of the muscle stuff, but the bones, when they did my X-ray down there in Tallahassee at that 3-month mark, they said they was perfectly healed. So, I took that as a sign that it's time to go back to work.
Now, were you back on the truck at 3 months, or were they having you on light duty, or were you just back on the truck?
No, I was full duty. I was just having to deal with it,
Stubborn.
In Albany, it wasn't so bad because I'm in that pickup truck most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Lee County, I had to ride the fire truck, had to ride the ambulance still. A little bit different, but luckily we don't have as many calls. Lee County's not quite as busy.
Yeah.
So and my guys took really good care of me. They wouldn't let me do anything. We had a fire that I wouldn't to touch a hose. I wasn't supposed to do any of that kind of stuff. They were really good. They were really good to me.
Man, that's good. Yeah, I didn't know you went back to work that fast. Once I think you got out and started getting better. I didn't see any more really updates on you on Facebook or anything, and I didn't know. And I just I kind of assumed like you probably were going back to work for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear you came back in 3 months.
Yeah.
How mad was your wife at you?
She wasn't mad. She was worried.
Yeah.
She was more concerned than anything. She's never got mad at me and stuff like that. She's always.
Well, I guess I say mad in like the sense of being
right.
worried.
Well, yeah,
like you're being stubborn.
Yeah. Well, I definitely heard that. I definitely heard that. But she supported me. She knew I needed it.
Yeah.
She knew I needed to get out and do stuff. Because I've never been the type of person that relies on somebody to do something for me. I do it myself. I do a lot of projects around the house, all that kind of. I do it myself.
Yeah.
If it's something I can work on my vehicle, I do it myself. I have a problem paying people to do stuff. Yeah.
I'm the same way to a lot of degrees. Sometimes, though, I'll be like, I just don't have time. Somebody's got to cut the grass this week or something.
And she knew during that whole time I had to rely on people.
Yeah.
I had to. I had no choice. And I had great people that was, the guy that you're wanting to come on here, he was awesome. Helped me out tremendously. Him and several other firemen helped me out tremendously. I don't think we mentioned it the last time, but when I came home from the hospital, a big group of the firemen from Albany and Lee County and all had gotten together and built me a ramp at my house. A big, long, nice, heavy-duty ramp for us to be able to use to get in and out. Because I couldn't. My house sits way up off the ground. I got steps.
Yeah.
And there was no way. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And there was no way my wife could wheel me up those steps in that wheelchair. So they built me that big, nice, long ramp that made it easy for her to unload me out of the car and just wheel me up into the house and all that, So it was, all that was real, real humbling.
Yeah, I imagine so. I've never gone through anything like an injury like that. But damn. I'm glad to see, first time I saw you getting around, came up here and you're getting around well. I honestly didn't think, it's been, how long ago was that?
Fixing to be 3 years. In July, it'll be 2 years.
Yeah. I figured, you would have been like devastatingly, which, it was a devastating injury, but I figured you were going to I figured you were going to be in a lot worse shape.
Yeah.
Even, come back from that.
Yeah. Yeah, we all did. I thought it was too. I wasn't sure how the future was going to be.
Yeah.
Especially when I was trying to do rehab and all that stuff. It just wouldn't seem to. It's slow. Rehab is slow.
Yeah.
Or at least the improvement from rehab is slow. I ain't going to say rehab is slow, but the improvement from rehab is slow.
Yeah.
So I got very discouraged doing some of that because I just didn't, we take for granted straightening your legs.
Yeah.
That's simple, right? I mean, we do it all day.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can't do it, it affects a lot of stuff. I never thought it, like walking. Like walking. I walked different. My gait was different. When I try to walk any lengths of time, it would make my hips hurt just because everything wasn't like it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
So I took a lot of that stuff for granted and realized pretty quickly that, I had to do the rehab and try to get that strength and range of motion back. I had to.
My dad, when I was probably 10 or 12 years old, he blew out his quad trying to, he was my baseball coach for pretty much my whole life going up till high school. And he was, pitching to, we were like 10 or 12. Somebody hit a line drive back at him. He tried to dodge, move real quick, get out of the way, and ripped his quadricep from down there where it attaches at your knee, and it rolled up to his hip. Had to call the ambulance, get him there. Like, he had a huge knot up here on his hip. Whole quad rolled up, ripped it off.
Dang.
And they had to go in there and surgically reattach it. And he was very stubborn, too. And once, it started healing, they gave him this machine that he put his leg in, and it would just move his leg. Like, you could set, like, the angle or whatever, and it was painful. And he'd lay there on the bed, and it would, like, cycle his leg just to keep that muscle moving, I guess keep it from, getting super tight and trying to pull back. And I remember he would take his muscle relaxers, whatever, and he'd just lay in that damn machine and turn it up to where much as he could take and just work that leg because he was tired of being incapacitated and unable to walk, which it wasn't nearly as bad as yours, but think about being stubborn. I just remember being in that machine and just laying there and just letting it run because, it's only supposed to do it like so long each day. And he was like, hell with this. I got to get moving.
Right.
I got stuff I got to do.
A little bit helps a lot will help even more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He takes so much where he couldn't feel it basically. He just laid in that machine, turn it up, and just let it work his leg for like way longer than he should have. But, he don't know his own business too. He's a cabinet man, build cabinets and stuff. He's like, I get back to work. I ain't got time for this. And, but yeah, stubborn. And he was going to push it. Yeah, I got to get back to moving.
Yeah.
But I never been where I couldn't walk. Not that I can think of. I mean, crutches, but yeah, I can't imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
But Danny, his weren't. I know he was bad, but he wasn't nearly as severely injured as you, right? I mean, I can't remember, but I remember you got the worst. You were in the hospital longer.
I was in the hospital longer. I ain't going to say more severe or anything. I don't, never want to discount anybody else's injuries, but I know he had broken ribs.
Yeah.
And he had some scarring on his face from antifreeze that got on him, hot antifreeze.
Yeah.
That healed. That's what surprised me is how fast his face healed.
Huh.
When I saw it, how quickly that healed, I was like, oh my God, you can't even tell it. Nothing was on there. Mm-hmm. But he did have trouble with his ribs for a long time. I think he still has a little bit of pain from that when he moves certain ways or, too fast.
Did he have like a punctured lung or something?
He did on scene. They had to do a needle decompression on him to inflate his lung.
I felt like I remembered hearing that.
So, like, initially, he was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily they were able to do that and, knew what to do and how to do it. That's the great thing about medics.
Yeah. I think that was like the report I heard first, like after y'all got flown or when you got flown, that Danny was worse because I think they had to decompress him and everything. And did they intubate him? I don't even remember. Did they put?
I don't think so. Okay. I think they would talked about it and was trying, and I think he fought him so bad because it's Danny.
Yeah.
But he was talking a lot to him from what I understood. Just fighting him, not wanting him. They thought he had a real bad head injury at first because he was kind of combative acting with it. So, I think initially they thought he was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I think that was the reports I heard first, that Danny was real bad and that you were, all lower leg or whatever, that you weren't, critical in nature. But, I know there was some concern that, one of y'all or neither of y'all might not make it, But then I think I saw, Danny was released way sooner. I don't know how long you spent there, but I know you spent a lot longer in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because I think I remember, like, your wife, somebody posted on Facebook when you finally got home or something or got out, and I was like, dang, he was down there for a long time.
Yep.
But I'm just glad to see you out moving around.
It's good to be out moving around, I tell you.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to go through that again.
No. look, when I went to go through my stem cell transplant, I was in there for, I don't know how many days I was in there now. I went in there, we got out July 5th. It might have been like 3 weeks. It might have been 20 days or something. But I remember telling my wife, going through all that terrible chemo, I was like, I understand now why when people get older, they say, no, I ain't doing that again with chemo. I'm just going to let it accept my fate. If God heals me, he does. If he don't, it's fine. Because I was like, I won't ever want to go through this again. That was just, I'd never been so sick and weak, feel like crap. But I was like, that moment, I was like, I understand now why older people are like, nah, I'm not doing it again.
So that was in July?
Yeah, it was like July 5th, I think, was like when I got it.
July ain't a good month for me and you, then.
No, it ain't. Because I think I went in like June, I don't know, sometime middle of June. And I remember it was July like 5th, I think it was. Because I remember it was like right there on July 4th. Maybe I was supposed to get on, or maybe it was July 3rd. It was right around there July 4th. I wanted to get out because family was doing like a big cookout and everything. I was like, I'm tired of being in this hospital, eating hospital food. I lost like 29 pounds in the hospital because I was so tired of eating hospital food. I was just drinking shakes there at the end because I was like, I am so tired of this food. That's when I would eat, which I didn't want to eat after all that stuff.
I didn't want to eat either. That's the ice cream and stuff like that was about the only thing that really tasted right to me while I was in there. I lost a good bit of weight too. Yeah. I think I lost down to I was like 240, 242, something like that. Yeah. Before the accident, and I lost down to right at 200 pounds in the hospital.
Which I was a lot bigger than you.
I had a lot of muscle though too, because I was weak. Yeah. When I come out, I was weak.
Mine was a lot of fat. I think I was like 330 or something, my heaviest during all that. And it was like 29 pounds they told me I lost while I was in there. But I believe it because I wouldn't eat much during there. I didn't want to eat nothing. And they're like, you got to eat. And I'm like, you bring me all this. And I remember, oh man, who was it? Somebody brought me a Pearlie's biscuit. Or maybe I might have brought me 2. And I was so happy to get them, but I was so sick. And I couldn't eat the second one. I didn't want them to take it away because I was like, I got no other good food. And, but I was so sick, and I was like, I was so upset I couldn't enjoy it because nothing necessarily against the hospital, but that hospital food ain't nothing like home cooking or anything.
No, and look, we were in Tallahassee, so I had people bringing food, going and getting food from all over Tallahassee. Tallahassee Fire Department, their guys, one of their captains and battalion chiefs.
Oh wow,
came and visited me all the time. Yeah. Brought me gifts, brought me food. They come and visit me. Yeah, they were awesome.
Huh.
Awesome.
I didn't know that.
And I just, some of that stuff, as bad as I wanted it, as good as it smelled, I could eat 2 or 3 bites of it, and I'd be either full or just didn't want it anymore. Yeah. Ugh. Things I wish I could do now. Yeah. I wish I could eat 2 bites and be done.
Man, for real. Yeah. I like some good food now. Yeah. Good cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing better. That's what I joked about. We do our thing at the boathouse. Like, I'm probably going to bring some meats. Just throw on the grill and just cook it when it's done. Be done with the show or something. Which, I joked with Steve. I was like, Steve, we do it. So I get you on, you're going to be cooking. Because I was like, I'm not going to have you here, Master Chef Steve, and make anything delicious and not let you cook the meat. Yeah. Steve, he can make anything. I mean, I'm not a terrible...
Roadkill tastes good.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a terrible cook, but in light of Steve, if I can talk into it anyway, Steve. You gonna do it? Yeah. See, he'll make anything delicious, and that's what I said on there when he was on here. I was like, Steve, he can, if he can cook it, it's gonna be delicious. I don't know if you heard me talk to him. One of the first things I talked about was that him down there in Puerto Rico cooking the iguanas on the beach. Yeah. Did you ever see? Did you see that post?
I saw part of it. Yeah.
Oh man, I still remember that. Like, only Steve. You're in a disaster area, and you gonna find you something to cook. Yep. And man killed him some iguanas. Was cooking them on a steel wheel with like a, I don't even know what it was, a chain link fence or something. He had made him a grill down there on the beach. And I was like, only Steve.
I'm just glad he cooked them.
Yeah.
He likes to eat some stuff pretty raw.
Yeah. He'll make the sashimi.
Very rare.
Dude, I remember one time at the station, he made some kimchi. That Korean, like sauerkraut, or it's like that rotted cabbage. And I remember opening the fridge, I was like, what is in here? It was like, Steve made kimchi. I was like, what is kimchi? And, it smelled terrible, but it was, delicious. I didn't try any because I was like, Steve, I trust you, but this smells god-awful. He made kimchi the night before, whatever. You never know what Steve was going to make. No. But, yeah, I remember that fridge. I was like, oh, God, what is in here? Only Steve. Yep. But, there's something else I was going to ask you about the wreck. I don't remember. Well, your surgeries, how many did you have after? Because I know none. All 5 of them before you came back? Okay. I was thinking you had to come back. Or maybe the last time I talked to you, you said you were going to have
when I went back a few times, that was mainly for them to pull pins out of my fingers and stuff like that and take staples out.
Oh, so your fingers were really bad. I was thinking they were just like...
they were... This one was broken 2 places and this one was broken 1. This one had a rod that went right down the end of it like that. And this one had 2 pins that went across at an angle right there. Yeah.
Gosh, how many plates and screws do you have in your legs?
One of them's got 2 plates.
Yeah.
The other's got 1. And there's, I don't know how many screws. There's a multitude of screws in there.
They have to put any rods in?
No, just put
just the plates?
Plates like stainless steel or
titanium, whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever they are. Yeah. And then they put 2 screws in my ankle coming out of there's no plate, just screwed into the bones. And that bothers me still. When I bend it certain ways or kind of twist it, rotate it a little bit, I can feel it.
I bet.
So
no MRIs for you, huh?
I don't know about that. I ain't been to an airport yet either.
Yeah. Set it off. I've often wondered about that. I have to get CT every year through oncology. And many times they've told me, the first time they told me, I had an MP in there, and she was looking at it, and she goes, does your back hurt? I said, no. She said, your back's not bothering you at all? I said, no. I said, wow, what's up? So now your CT showed a lot of arthritis in your lower back. And I said, well, I've been over an ambulance for a long time. I said, I get stove up at times. I'm a physician. I got to stretch it out and get unstove. And I was like, so what are you telling me? I'm going to have back problems? She's like, well, I'm just saying, you got a lot of arthritis back there. I was like, I believe it. Years of being bent over an ambulance. Yep. So young people take a knee. I learned that real quick. Take a knee, start an IV. Don't stay bent over.
Yeah, don't stay bent over.
Yeah. Keep your back strong. Take advantage of that when I was a lot younger. Now it definitely, I'm way more aware of my back situation. It doesn't hurt me, but ever since then, I'm like, I probably need to stop that habit of just staying hunched over. Yeah. Instead of getting down low or whatever to do whatever. Nah, no more. I'm gonna take a knee. I ain't staying hunched over.
Yeah.
Which it'll get me. I'll get stove up doing something like,
I do too.
Gosh, back, I'm getting old.
I get it too.
You get that young man energy, and I got this.
Best thing we ever did in Lee County was get those power load stretchers.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the newer ones I've seen going around have EMS meet us. I'm like, man, these things are fancy. I don't know who makes it. It's like a red and black one. I don't think it's Stryker. Maybe it's Furno or something. But them things are pretty damn cool. They auto-load and stuff too, but just the way they operate, they've been impressive. Some of the ones I've seen.
Yep.
Which, too, I've come in some of these hospitals. Like we had to fly into Emory. They have power motorized hospital beds. Like not just up and down. I know these existed. I don't work in a hospital, but they're like motorized, like a self-propelled lawnmower. Like you hold the buttons, you push, and it's got a little electric motors on it, and it you don't have to push it. You just like the force, like a little force your hand on the handles, it moves. And then reverse, you pull it back, it starts pulling it for you, and you let go.
Zero turn mower.
Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, kind of, sort of. But yeah, it's motorized, so it just pushes it for you. And you can stop it on a ramp, and it'll just stop and hold. And I guess they're electric, hydraulic, whatever, probably electric motors. But yeah, you just put the little safety latches on each like hospital stranger. But yeah, you can push 400-pound patient one too, and just do.
Wow.
I was like, these need to be everywhere.
Yes.
Especially for us. EMS would probably haven't made them bulletproof enough for us, but that would be a plus.
Yeah.
Some of these things motorized. Yeah, probably a little sketchy because we do a lot of off-camber stuff, but yeah, that would be a big benefit. They need to put some fatter tires on EMS stretchers.
Exactly.
I mean, I know they're better than they were, but they need some.
They need them big, like
them beach wagon.
Yeah, them beach wagon.
Beach wagon wheels. That's what they need on stretchers. Because sometimes you go across some soft grass, wet lawn. Oh man, things get buried up.
And stair chairs are just as bad.
Yeah, they're handy for the situations
if you don't tote them. It's hard to roll them.
Man, I know. Them wheels, I always feel like are these wheels locked? No, they're free.
They're just tiny.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they got to put it in a compact package.
I guess, yeah, but
they're good for going downstairs.
That's it. They're good for what they're made for.
You try to roll them, and them things, I feel like they need to be greased or something. They ain't rolling fast enough.
And they don't fold up as easy as they unfold.
No. You're just like, which red handle am I supposed to pull? You're just looking for red handles.
Yeah.
Which one's going to do the way I need to unfold this thing, slide these handles out. Stair chairs. That's what I mean. I remember what I was going to ask you. Well, it didn't have anything to do with the wreck, but I think it was going off you talking about your wife from the wreck. I know, how long you and your wife been married? Y'all been married?
This year will be 34 years.
Yeah. And that's not common in our job.
Mm-hmm.
I know we know, which is your second marriage, but still we know people, well, I don't know if you're still in Lee County, but we know somebody who's I used to call it serial monogamous. I think he was on like a 6-to-1. Yeah. And, it's a harder thing, I feel. Well, probably cops too, but police, fire, EMS, just the shifts we work, keeping a marriage strong. I mean, I've been with my wife since we got married 2014, so this is coming up on year 12 for us. And we've definitely had our ups and downs, a lot of them, all the time. And but I don't know. I mean, I guess just broadly, how have y'all made that work for so long? Because I know from the outside, whenever I've seen you, talk to your wife or anything, y'all very much seem to be very much on the same page. And it's like she was very understanding.
Oh yeah,
especially. I mean, you're gone 48 out of 72 hours.
Yep.
And like, I don't know. I guess I was just some insight. Probably, I guess for myself or for anybody else on like making that work. I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of credit to your wife, but
it is.
I know that's got to be a team effort for both y'all.
It is a team effort, and she does get a lot of the credit because, like I say, I was gone a lot. Over those 20-something years of working that schedule, but just keeping Christ in your life is a big help in your marriage.
Yeah.
And just being understanding and communicating exactly what's going on. Don't leave the schedule up to a surprise.
Yeah.
Don't just say, "Oh, hey, by the way, I got to work tomorrow." If you're taking an extra shift or anything like that, make sure they know everything about it.
Yeah.
Constant communication is, I think, one of the key factors. Which that's with any job really. With your, when you're dealing with your marriage, just communication is a key factor. But I think it's more important when you work a schedule like that.
Yeah.
To know that you're both on the same page. You both need to know what the goals are, why you're working that job. You know what I'm saying? What's your end goal? You both need to be aware of that and go along with it. Because when I started in Lee County, it was only going to be a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
I was only going to work there about 5 years, make a little money, pay off a few bills, and then quit. Still there. So that part didn't work out, but that's just like anything. Once you start making a little more money, you spend it on something.
Yeah.
And keeping the kids doing stuff and keeping them occupied and busy in school and cheerleading, gymnastics, you name it, music. They were always doing something. So I think that helped too with my wife having something to focus on besides me not being there.
Yeah.
So to speak. I think that probably helped her.
Now, did you have both your daughters? Were they both born before you started fire department?
No, one of them was.
Yeah.
One of them was. Well, actually, I take that back. They were both born before I went to the fire department.
Yeah.
Jaden was born in 99, and I started in 01.
Yeah.
She was just 2 years old. So that's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
From little bitty kids growing up, that's all they've ever known is me being at the fire department.
Well, I was just thinking, like, it had to be a big change for your wife to go from you working, I guess, more or less a 9 to 5.
I would work Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30 was my hours, perfect hours.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get no better hours. I didn't have to work overtime unless I wanted to. I didn't have to work on the weekends unless I wanted to. I was off every Saturday and Sunday. Got off every afternoon at 3:30. So, yeah, it was a big adjustment going from that to even before I started working in Lee County, just a 24 on, 48 off at Albany.
Yeah.
Because I was still trying to do a little bit of stuff part-time to offset the money that I wasn't making. So I would be working during the day on my days off anyway. So it definitely was a culture shock and change to us on how we was going to manipulate in our family life. My parents helped out a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we never had to worry about daycare with our kids. They always kept our kids when they weren't in school. If we had things to do on weekends, they didn't mind keeping them. They would stay there. We lived right next door to them.
Yeah.
So that made it easy. So we had a good support system. Is another big factor, I think. Not just your spouse.
Yeah.
I think you need a whole. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village to raise a fireman too.
Yeah. Look, I give my wife credit because, and I'm pretty sure I said with Brian was like, my wife used to joke that, she's a part-time single mom, which used to tick me off because I felt it was rather insulting to me. Like, not so much now, but I get what she's saying. It was just, my wife's rather blunt about some stuff. I'm like, that's, I don't like that. Like, it's like I'm not here. But, you're kind of trapped by the job. You can't just shoot home for the most part. I mean, if something, emergent happens, yeah, you got to leave. But you're counted on to be there for emergencies. And I think it kind of takes a special spouse to understand that, all right, you're going to have to handle this on your own. Like I'm in the middle of something, or even if I'm at the station, I just can't shoot home and help you with this.
Yep.
Whereas, like, I'm sure there's a large percentage of jobs, okay, hey, look, I got to go home for a couple hours to handle this. You may or may not be able to do that.
Right.
Depending, especially if you live far away. Mm-hmm. You live around the corner from the station, maybe.
Right.
Maybe the captain would let you go or something. All right, you can go over there, but,
that's was our situation because I live southern Worth County.
Yeah, you're not around the corner from
it's
Albany.
35 minutes one way.
Yeah. And I think that's, been tough on my wife. I'm sure a lot of spouses. And I guess it's more interesting to me because, you started later in life, where, I started young. And I'm sure a lot of people start young. And so it's kind of like they probably enter into relationships and they're familiar with it. And, you go from, cake hours,
right.
banker's hours or better to now, well, I'm just not around, or you can't get a hold of me because I'm in the middle of fighting a fire. I'm in a house fire and something's going on, or I'm on a wreck. I am busy.
She could also see that the change in me was better.
Yeah,
because I was miserable working at my other job. I was not happy and grumpy all the time, just irritable, just things like that. And then once I got in a routine at the fire department, she could see that I was, coming around, opening up a little more. Less miserable, less grumpy, enjoying my days off, things like that. So she's made that statement several times that I was like a totally different person once I started at the fire department than what I was prior to. So I think that made it easier too to deal with the schedule because she saw what was coming out of it, which was making it easier on us. Our relationship was better and easier because of that.
Yeah, my wife said before when I've been unhappy somewhere, she's like, look, well, leave. Figure out something else to do. Like, I don't want to, if you're going to be unhappy, I don't want you bringing it home. And you do, whether you realize that or not.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you try not to, but.
Even if you don't think you're showing it, especially if you've had a spouse you've been with her for a while, they know. They know. I can tell my wife's not having the best day, and I know she can when I'm not, fully there or I'm grumpy. Which I hate being grumpy at the house. Sometimes I just, can't help it. And I'm like, man, I'm just not in a good mood. And I don't know why. Sometimes the hardest thing trying to figure out why I'm grumpy. I was like, I don't even know what the hell I'm grumpy about. There's no reason for me to be grumpy. I resort to prayer a lot then.
Yep.
Like, take this anger from me. I don't know what the hell I'm grumpy. Why am I mad? Nothing to be mad about. That's more the confusing thing to me if I'm mad and I don't even understand why I'm mad. I'm just grumpy at the world for whatever reason that day. It's like, and I don't like... nobody wants to have to take it out on anybody. And sometimes it's better for me to just not say anything. Just, let me get over this. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know why I'm grumpy. But I guess that was always, kind of a respectable thing about you is like you always held down what seemed like a solid marriage. And I'm sure y'all have had y'all's trying times. Why like that change, I figured it had to be trying. But, you all got through that. But it's just, I see so many... on both sides, people work EMS or fire, not being good spouses for whatever reason, unfaithful or just whatever.
Right.
And then you see, what seems to be the minority of tried and true. I say tried and true, or, very faithful, dedicated spouses, dedicated to making sure it works. I think today's day and age, you see a lot more people willing to give up on.
Oh yeah, it's easy
marriages, relationships. That ain't working out.
It's easy to give up. It's hard to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I can tell you that. Probably to I can say mainly to my wife's credit on that. I think anytime we've ever got really pissed off at each other and mentioned divorce, it's always her that was like, "Well, I'm in the marriage. We ain't getting divorced." And finally, I've come. If we ever have a big argument, like, "Well, we ain't getting divorced. Just we're going to figure this out." I think we got that stage of the marriage where it's like, "All right, we ain't getting divorced. We're just pissed off about whatever small thing right now, and we'll get through it." But early on, especially before we had kids or when they were young, it was way harder. I think when you're just younger and you don't understand the dedication it takes to a marriage, because you always got to keep working on it. Like, I guess stuff gets better. You understand each other better, but I don't think it necessarily gets easier. I think, like, life changes. Your people, to whatever degree, you change as you get older.
Right.
Good and bad, just life. And I think you have to learn to roll with the punches.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And like you said, keep Christ first.
Mm-hmm.
I owe it to my daughters to remember to pray every day, because I pray every night with them. And I get busy at work and I forget about it, and they're kind of my rock on that, especially my oldest. We always say our prayers every night, and I'm thankful for her for that. If it wasn't for her reminding me of that, I'd forget a lot. There's so much other things in the world to get, you get tied up with thinking about, and you forget about it. I'm not perfect. I need to pray more, but that's always the thing. I always remember whenever I get mad, first an hour, get grumpy, I always got to pray. Like, why am I mad? I don't even understand this. And I guess it's a more confusing thing, at least for me personally. I don't know if it's like that, but I think part of it too is, I'm sure there's probably firefighter mindset like you or me, being a paramedic for much longer now. I think it's the mindset of, we can figure this out. Like, I'm strong enough. You don't want to accept help.
I know that's definitely, I'm sure it's with medics too, but, that's what firemen do, is figure things out.
Yeah.
When they get on calls, they have to figure out what's going on, how to fix it, how to mitigate it, how to get somebody out of a car. Mm-hmm. I mean, medics have to do that same thing. So that's kind of our nature in this job, is to be somebody who can figure problems out, solve problems. And we kind of take pride in that, when we do figure one out.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's to our own detriment, especially. I would probably say with religion or really the life as a whole, you don't want to, I can figure this out. I can figure this out. I don't need God. I don't need anybody's help.
Yep.
And that's been a tough thing for me, just to give it to God. You know what I mean? It's troubling that bad, lay it at the feet of Jesus.
Yep. That's right.
And I still have to remind myself of that, because I think I'm going to figure this out. I got it handled. Not everything.
Yep. We can figure it out. We just got to go the right route to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is give it to Him.
Yeah.
That's our way. That's the way we are figured it out.
Yeah.
Give it to Him. Let Him figure it out for us.
Yeah. And I guess maybe that's a best thing to pass along to people, especially like marriage wise in this field. And I was the same damn way when I was younger. Like I said, 15, 20 years ago, I was pretty much agnostic. Like I felt like I knew everything. I don't know if I was going to say I felt like I knew everything. I felt like I knew enough that I didn't need anybody else's really advice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's people that I respected enough I took advice from, but I don't need their input. You know what I mean? Like I was, I guess I'd say arrogant. I don't know if I was really that arrogant though, but I can't think of a better term.
Right.
But you get humbled real quick. And anytime I get humbled, I'm like, well, I guess I'm sure I needed that. For a reason.
Oh yeah. We all need that from time to time.
Yeah. Which I think that goes to now. Like I told Tripp when he was on here, I was like, I don't like to give advice. I'll tell people stuff not to do, because I've made enough mistakes now in my life that I can tell you some stuff not to do. And I guess that's advice in a way, but I don't like to freely give advice. Because I kind of feel like, too, if you're... and there's a quote. I don't even remember who it's from. But it said, the best advice usually comes from those who don't like to give it. And not to say I'm trying to be the person that gives the best advice, but I think the main meaning in that comes from... There are probably people that understand that they might not have the best, that they're humble enough to understand that they don't need to give advice on everything. And if you're coming to them with a specific problem, maybe they have some words of wisdom, but I don't think they need to be. They understand that they don't need to give you advice on everything. Sometimes you got to figure stuff out on yourself the hard way. Mm-hmm. You know. I think I think that too in my own life. Well, God just let me stick my foot in this door long enough to get it slammed to realize that was a terrible idea.
Yep, that's right.
You know, and I think that's been a lot of my life because I've been a stubborn person. It was funny. My wife told me after we've been together for a long time. My dad passed away in 2016, but she said my dad told her after we've been dating a long while. We probably went out to dinner with her or something, and she told him, said, "Now, Brad, he's stubborn. You're gonna see something he's not doing the right way or something. You just gotta let him figure it out on his own. Figure it out on his own. That's not the way it needs to be done." And I was like, "Damn, he told you that?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, well, he's probably not even accurate, you know. And I realized my dad later on in life, especially high school age, he was probably doing that a lot with me. Like, it ain't worth fighting. He's got to figure it out on his own. And it took me a long time to realize, you know, I don't have to figure it out on my own all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure your wife the same way. I've had to trust her opinion a lot more on stuff because she can see it from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yep.
And I guess that probably comes back to communication. Trusting your spouse.
It does.
You know, which I owe a lot to, I guess, I would say the betterment of me to my wife. And, you know, she's very much, we're going to go to mass. We're going to go to church, which I would still go. But she's more so, we need to go. You know, she's very much an equal participant of we want to go. Like, I'm not having to drag her to church or anything. Mm-hmm. She's not having to drag me to church. So I'm thankful for her. Because I'll see, you know, I'm sure you see people in your church too that it's just like one spouse coming in there, which kind of hurts my heart a little bit, you know. I wish they both go, but I mean, which some of them maybe they have jobs that take them away on the weekends or something. Right. But I know some of them they just ain't going, right. Which I always thought was an interesting dynamic. But
yeah, my wife will go. She'll go by herself if I'm at work.
Yeah.
With my daughter, she'll go with them to their church, stuff like that. So she doesn't just sit at home just because I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know, she'll go. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, my wife the same way. You know, we're gonna make at least a weekend mass. You know, especially this Holy Week coming up for us in the Catholic Church. You know, do Holy Thursday, which Good Friday won't have mass, but you know, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, it's a big time for Catholic Church, so we're gonna make everything we can. I got to work Friday, but there'll be no mass Friday anyways. But yeah. I like it. And it's a very important time, you know, Jesus' resurrection. So,
yep. And
coming to the end of Lent, I can finally eat meat on Fridays. we were somewhere. Was it last Friday? Friday before last? We were somewhere. We were busy flying around, and they were talking about grabbing food somewhere. And it's like, I think was it a taco place? I don't know. I was like, it's fine. I was like, I can get some shrimp or something there. Like, oh yeah, it's Friday for you. I was like, yeah, it's a Friday in Lent. I was like, but hey, it's fine. We go to pizza place. I can get a cheese pizza. Like, we go wherever. I can find some fish or shrimp or something. You know. Which I heard on another podcast. They're talking about the Catholic Church gave a concession for, I think it was, it was like the mountain men in like the 1800s. Because you're not supposed to eat meat, land animals. So, like, fish, shrimp, whatever crab you can eat on Fridays.
Okay.
So, and you can eat eggs. Can't eat chicken, but you can eat eggs. I guess because it's like not a animal yet. It's an egg. I don't know. I haven't gotten the specifics on that. But the mountain men that were Catholic in, like, you know, the 1800s and stuff, they couldn't eat meat. And so there was, like, you know, a ton of deer, buffalo, whatever they could eat. And they're like, hey, we don't have any meat to eat, which, you know, it hasn't always been Fridays. Some points, whatever diocese you're in, it was like all of Lent you might have had to abstain from meat, which you can if that's your Lenten practice. You can, you can fast. You could fast the whole time of Lent if you want to try it. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you can just like give up meat. But like back then, some of it was like a whole time of Lent, like Jesus 40 days in the desert, no meat, and so they wouldn't have any red meat, and they just have fish they could catch. And like, hey, can we get a concession that we can eat beaver because it's an aquatic animal, you know? So they got a concession that they could eat beaver because there were so many beavers back then. So they were eating beavers and fish. And so that's kind of my joke sometimes. Like, well, I can't have this, but I was like, you got any beaver? And I think it was turtles, too. I think you'd eat turtles.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I don't know if it still holds. I mean, it's not like I see beaver on the menu or a supermarket anywhere I could eat.
Right.
But, I probably should ask my priest that. He'd probably like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, look, I heard this, and it's true. Hey, but I can't imagine I'm probably the only person ever asking that. But I have to hit him up. I see him. I guess I see him Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to have to hit him up after service and ask him whether a strange question. But I was trying to think of something else I was going to touch on with you. We touched last time, but I don't remember. Which we had a good conversation last time. I don't know. Was there anything we talked about you want to bring up? Or I can't remember. I remember there was a couple other things, but we get talking in my mind.
Right.
There's so many things we could talk about, But I don't know. I wanted everybody to see you. That's why I want to get back in here for video, not just the audio. I didn't feel like that'd do justice.
Oh no, they might be happier with the audio version.
Which I know a lot of people do just listen to the audio, but at least it's like a record, which I've tried to explain to some of the older people. Like, look, it's just to me, I'm like documenting. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I kind of hate to be morbid to some of them, but like, look, we're not all of us getting older.
That's right. Yeah.
And you ain't getting no, you ain't getting no younger. I ain't trying to be mean like I think you're going to die tomorrow, but I want you to come on here before it gets too late. I think people need to hear and see from you.
Well, I appreciate it.
But,
it's been enjoyable.
Well, I know. Well, we kind of touched on it, but I know I wanted to hit on you because I've kind of hit on a little bit about everybody. But like the change, I know you started in 01, and I started fire department in 07. Like, how much of a change have you seen in like personnel attitude, like, and stuff? I mean, is it just a generational thing or culture, or like, I mean, I guess I'm trying to get everybody's kind of insight on that to a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know nobody's got the answer,
right?
But it's just interesting to hear everybody's perspective.
It's definitely been a change. We like to say it's generational.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I don't know. I know a lot of people are raised different than what we were. There's a lot more single mom, single dad families out there now. They're trying to raise kids, and I just think it's different. I mean, they don't, like, when we come up, we were constantly doing stuff like mowing grass, weed eating, riding tractors, plowing gardens, things like that. These guys, they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. We've had people come on that don't even know how to crank a weed eater.
Yeah, I think you told me that last time.
Yeah, I mean, and this is not too long ago. This is only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So from that aspect, it's a lot different. I mean, the fire department and EMS, people have always worked other jobs, and you could always find somebody in public safety to do a side job for you if you needed something.
Yeah.
It was whether it was a mechanic,
somebody had expertise in something else,
electrician. It don't matter. You don't see that as much anymore. Most of the people, if they work part time, they're working another fire department or working another EMS job.
Yeah.
Or you might see a lot of grass cutters. You still see a good bit of those, but you don't see as many of the tradesmen, so to speak, anymore like you used to.
Yeah.
Doing it. And it's just different, man. They're just don't seem to be as I'm gonna say ready to fight fire, or we looked forward to a house fire.
Yeah.
When I come on,
that's definitely going down the prevention.
You wanted one. It was bad, for the homeowner, but you kind of wanted one, just to. So
it's kind of like saying, like, you want to be able to use your skills.
Right. So I don't necessarily see that now. Like, they're just as content not to get a fire as they are to have one.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's generational or if it's.
I think I've seen. It's almost kind of like a disconnect sometimes with, like, and I guess it's maybe because of like social media or like the lack of face-to-face contact with people. Growing up, you were a little kid, you were constantly interacting with people and people's grandmas and family reunions or whatever. You're constantly interacting with people. And so, like, the social skills and social dynamic of, like, helping people, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like, I guess I would say the extra mile, but kind of like just the inclination to do the right thing. You know, not saying that there's a bunch of public safety people out there that aren't willing to do the right thing, but it's like the inclination of, like, oh, I see this happening, I'm going to take the initiative, and though it's not my job, I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm really phrasing that right, but I've seen a fair bit of that, which I thought was interesting. And it's not necessarily like I hold it against them. I think it's more of like raising, culture, upbringing, you know, of like, this is just what you're supposed to do, you know? And I don't really know how to, verbalize that any better, or if I verbalize that well. But it's just a strange thing to see. We're like, you know, especially like the old timers, and like when I started, I feel like there wasn't a big gap. When I started, you know, there were people that were in the fire department 40 years, and they were hardcore guys. You know, they were fighting a lot of fire with, you know, no SCBAs and stuff. But I kind of feel like the attitude of what you're willing to do was still there, and I'm sure it's still there in fire and EMS to the same degree, sort of. But it's just different. Like you see, like the young people, some young people now are it's just awkward. Like you got to do, you know, you got to interact with people one-on-one, and you can tell that they don't have those social skills.
Social skills aren't there. It's just
like they're smart. Like, you know, they're smart.
Yes,
but it's like what they're supposed to do in a social situation, or how to enter somebody's home, or be respectful.
Like all of us growing up, when we would be at the station, everybody would eat together.
Yeah.
Every meal, wash dishes, clean stuff, you know, everything we did together.
Yeah.
Now it's like nobody wants to do anything like that.
Yeah. Kind of like fractured.
Everybody either gets food delivered separately.
Yeah.
You got a few crews that'll eat together and stuff like that, but you know, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
That there's still a brotherhood, but I don't think the brotherhood part of it is as strong as it used to be.
Yeah, and that was the best thing about the fire department to me. You know, it's almost its own fraternity. You know, EMS, I feel, has always been a little weirder. You know, the fire department definitely had that in spades way better than EMS did. But it's something I've been interested in trying to figure out, I guess, more or less, like how to bring that back. Because, you know, we can't change. I mean, I guess you can change fire culture to some degree, which you can there. But it's like, how do you change that? I mean, it's not like something like you can just say, hey, we're going to do this, and all of a sudden it's fixed. You know, and I guess it's like society as a whole. But it's like, used to be like, I don't want to say everybody. The majority of people you saw doing the job, like whether they got into it from whatever background, like they had that inclination to do what needed to be done. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, this is just what I'm supposed to do per the job, what I'm supposed to do. Like, you're kind of willing to go the extra mile. And, like, that was, like, the atmosphere to do that.
Right.
Where now it's like, oh, I'm not.
Bare minimum.
Yeah. You know, which I kind of get to some degree, a little bit of, okay, you know, I come home, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm decompressing, you know, don't bother me with stuff. But even on the job, you know, it's like, I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't have to do that. I don't know. And I guess it's similar in fire service, you know, still. But it's just kind of a sad thing to me to see.
It is.
You know?
It is.
And a lot of people like yourself, and I guess everybody I've had on, or people that were willing to do that. They just had the inclination of, you know, that attitude of like, all right, well, we got a problem, we're going to solve it. You know, like firefighters. We got to find this problem here, we got an extra in the car, you know, we're going to figure this out. You know, which I'm sure everybody would do on the scene, but it's like to, you know, smaller degree the principle of it. You know, there's a problem here in the department or the scene of the call, whatever, we're going to figure it out. I don't know. Or I guess some people are just happy to the problem to exist, and you know, it ain't my problem.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there. That attitude is rampant. It ain't my problem.
Yeah, and we used to joke of like which wasn't so much of my problem, but like, you know, we say like, "Oh, it looks good for my house." You know, and we say it kind of jokingly on stuff. Yeah, but I think now it's kind of come like a literal thing. You're like, man, I don't know if we instilled that attitude, but I don't know if they realized we were just messing around. We were joking about that, like, "Oh, it looks good for my house." I don't know. I guess, you know, like I said, I just wanted to kind of hear your thoughts on it. And like I said, I think if we knew the answer, it'd be fixed.
It is. We try to do it at Station 1 in Albany. We still try to get everybody to eat together.
Yeah.
For all meals, and when we got time and downtime, they play card games together and just things like that. Pickleball. They play pickleball together, stuff like that. So but it takes work. I mean, it takes effort.
Yeah.
You got to make a conscious effort to do that now, whereas it used to just be second nature.
Yeah.
So you just got to you got to keep doing it. You can't do it today and then wait 4 or 5 shifts and not ever do it again till then, once a month. You're not going to build any kind of rapport or relationship or anything like that doing it that little.
Yeah. And I think I like too, which you saying that makes me think about it's all an investment, like you investing in other people, the department investing in you. And I'm not talking about just monetarily. I'm just talking about that they see the value in you. And I think as a leader, like you yourself, I feel like you and probably the person we're talking, well, I know the person that, I hope to get on, I guess probably everybody I've had on, they were always invested in you or the conversation they had with you or as a person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes towards it. I think you will have to be willing to invest in other people, even if you might not like them per se of something they do or whatever. To disassociate, I don't think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I can put that better. I'm sure I could if I really thought about it. But you're just talking about that, doing stuff together. You're investing in, your brother, your sister who's right with you.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you learn more about them, learn more about their family, or maybe why they're acting the way they are. If they had a terrible part of their childhood, if they reveal or something, it's still an investment. That they're investing this probably sensitive issue with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the trust in that, I think is something that's kind of missing. Nobody wants to be seriously invested in somebody else. I think. Now I'm thinking about it.
I don't know if it's the
I don't think it's the whole thing, but I think that could be part
fear
of
of being let down or fear of being disappointed, or I don't know.
And I kind of wonder if it's both ways, personnel-wise and department wise, because we see so many departments or services now, especially private EMS, where it's I'm just a number. They don't care about me. They say they care about me, but I was holding up quotation marks for anybody that not watching the video. But
I'm sure that's got a part of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is, especially when you got as big as HR departments have become in the department now, where you have to watch everything you say and do. We used to prank and play jokes.
Oh yeah, look, I
all the time. That was just a accepted thing.
But that was kind of part of it. That was kind of the bonding. I mean, you weren't necessarily hazing.
Yeah,
but
you knew you were accepted if somebody was joking on you or picking on you or pranking you or stuff like that. You knew you was accepted. You were a part of the department then.
Now say they might have thought you were the village idiot, but you were my village idiot. You know what I mean? Right. And you're nobody else's village idiot. You're ours.
We can pick on you, but nobody else can.
Yeah. Now, especially as a newbie, you're getting it, but then you realize, oh, okay, I'm their newbie idiot. And they're just trying to get me in line, so to speak. But it can go to an extreme. But I think in a general, which you got very clear of who's going too far, and I feel like they were corrected a lot of times by other people. Man, don't do that. Because you're firing EMS. Somebody's going to keep doing it till
they're told not to. That's right.
Yeah, till the manager says, "All right, came to my office." No, you got to stop that. That's part of it too, just the litigious nature in insurance. We can't do that. I don't know. I guess HR exists for a reason. I mean, they're there for a good reason, but
they are.
Sometimes they are overburdening. That, I don't know. Maybe that's part of it too. Departments and uppers that don't understand what the culture is and what they are. Just on paper that sounds bad, but I don't think you understand what's going on. Not to say it's the only way you need to handle it, but I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the cuff here. But I think it's a good point you bring up. You can't do any of that no more. Man, there's some good pranks we used to have back in the day. I was talking the other day with people about which just wouldn't necessarily give him trouble with HR. But, I remember at the fire department, they installed these programmable thermostats, and all the old timers and people didn't know how to operate them. I was a young buck. So, like, shift change was at 7, and so I programmed a thermostat to go to 90 degrees at 5 a.m. or it might have been like 4:30 a.m. to go to 90 degrees, and then at like 5:30 to go back to 70 AC. And so, like, they would have the shift change tones or wake up tones at 6. So they have tones go off, wake up all the stations, get ready, and shift change at 7. So I programmed that so it would get hot as Hades in there for an hour. And I remember my buddy on the shift was like, man, I was kind of casually asking about it. She was like, man, I keep sweating terribly every night. I have to take my sleeping bag home and wash it every shift. I wake up and I just drenched my sleeping bag. And he said, we go look at thermostat and it's cool in there. It's 70, but I'm just soaking wet with sweat. And it went on for weeks before anybody figured it out. But I had to program it. He was talking about it every day. He had to wash his sleeping bag because it was drenched with sweat. But it was just stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Your all-time pranking, so that people putting flour, like I said, in people's or baby powder in people's turnout gear. Yep. And they'd be, always get the newbie with that, put it in the folds of their gear and get back in there covered in flour from the waist down.
Yep.
And just different...
flour in their beds at night.
Yeah.
That's when they lay down to go to sleep.
People putting glitter on top of their ceiling fans. They go in there, turn the fan on, and their whole rooms, and all their stuff's glittered. Just all kind of different stuff like that. And now you get in trouble, which seems, might seem ridiculous to people, but I mean, people get upset about it and say they were traumatized or whatever.
Yeah.
Can't do none of that no more.
Can't do that no more.
Yeah, there was way worse stuff. I know there was way worse stuff before my time. I heard the old timers talking about it. I was like, good Lord, y'all were vicious. But I don't know. That was, like I said, I'm talking about it now. I mean, it's good fun memories.
Yeah, it was.
I know. I don't know how many times when I was young at the fire department, they would take our dress shirts because we had button-up shirts. They'd take your dress shirt off your locker, and they'd soak it, fold it, stick it in the freezer.
Oh yeah.
And then your dress shirt would be a frozen, a perfectly folded frozen brick, and they'd lay back out for you. Like, man,
or put all your insignias on upside down, backwards.
Yeah.
On your shirt, so when you put it on, everything was upside down.
Yeah, before you had keyless entry on all your cars, set your car keys, and they put it in a bowl of water, freeze it overnight. You'd be sitting there in the sink trying to thaw out your keys so you'd go home. Do stuff like that. That happened quite a bit. Set up your bed so it'd fall when you got in it. There was all that good stuff like that. Like I said, they're good memories. I kind of feel like now, I mean, I'm sure there's memories, but, I don't know. I feel like you ain't going to have those memories. Like that was fire department, like you say, you started, obviously I'm talking about it, EMS too, it was fun. You're riding around doing a job and having fun. You're out of an office.
Yep.
Which now I get to fly around a helicopter. We still have fun, but you can't. We're a lot more serious. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, you can't cut up as much in the helicopter.
No. I mean, you'll cut up being bored flying back or something, but you can't. Ain't no messing with a helicopter. You don't mess around with it. You ain't pranking nothing in the helicopter. But I don't know. Good times. I'm glad you're in here.
Definitely good times.
I'm glad I got you back in here for.
Me too.
I hope there ain't nothing I really want to talk to you about. I forgot. I'm sure there was something. It's a different conversation, but I'm glad I got you back in here.
I'm glad you had me on here to begin with.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, Mr. Ricky Thompson, till the next time, I'm sure I'll get you on again for something. Maybe we do one of them things in the
I'd love to do that. Love to sit in with all them guys. And cut up.
Probably something to do like every few months. Get a few different people together that are good characters, and cut up.
Oh yeah.
Probably about more of them stories, funny stories.
Oh, you definitely hear some stories in.
Oh look, I'm scared too because some of the people I want to have on, I'm like, I know there's stupid stuff I've done. And there's probably going to be some stories about me that I'm like, oh, gosh.
That other guy has got some stories.
No, I'm sure.
Especially about John Thompson.
No, yeah. Oh, man, he's so hilarious. There's a couple I could think of off the rip, but I'm not going to embarrass John too much. That lawnmower one, it's just you kind of have to know John. It probably doesn't sound that funny to anybody, but just him, it was like a serious thing. He's like, I'm just riding up and down the alley on my lawnmower. I don't want to go back in.
Wesley can tell it better, but I will tell what I remember about this one. I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
They used to sit out front of Station 1.
Yeah.
Every evening because we had them benches out there and just talk and cut up and watch traffic and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Buses would come by all the time. And all of them was out there one time, and John made the statement in front of all of them that he said, you know what? That same bus comes by here almost every single shift we're out here. And that guy looked at him and said, yeah, it's called a schedule, John.
That sounds exactly like John.
Yeah.
Look, there was a John Thompson story, which I don't know. I know he lost weight, but I know there for a while he was a little bit bigger, and he was having to take metformin. You know, he's like, man, they're saying I'm diabetic or pre-diabetic. I got to take this metformin. And one day, it was like a Sunday. It was slow at, I think, Station 3. And he was in the office. He was like playing Xbox. I was sitting there watching TV, and John come running through, went to the bathroom, came back, and they're playing Xbox. Like 20, 30 minutes later, came shuffling through real quick, went to the bathroom. It's like, John, what the hell's going on? You all right? Man, I messed up my metformin this morning. You know, you got the regular metformin and then the extended release. He said, man, that regular metformin tears up my gut. And he said, I took the regular metformin. He said, man, it's tearing me up. Because he kept running back and forth the bathroom, you know, quick, doing a little quick, I got to go shuffle. Yep. And, man, I was just looking, I was like, what are you doing, John? And he's so open about stuff.
He's
you ask him.
Diabetic ever.
Yeah.
Well, so far as being compliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I messed up my metformin. Took the regular stuff. It's like, dang, John. He's hilarious, though. Such a good guy, though.
Yeah.
You can't help him. I mean, that man's got a big old heart. A lot of people, you know, well, I'm sure a lot of people now, but a lot of those guys, you know, tremendously big hearts. Mm-hmm. But until next time, sir.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
Good to see you. Good to see you out walking around and doing well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Getting better every day.
Yeah. Happy Easter. Eat some good food this Sunday.
You too.